What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 4. Chapter 81 Shanks, 6 Emperors. Luffy is on the hook. Ace Blackbeard conflict open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. 3 days after the Enies Lobby incident. Reports on this vicious event finally appeared in the newspapers. Under the strict information control of Marine and World Government. The culprit in this incident is simply the Straw Hat crew. For the matter of openly challenging the majesty of the world government. Marine offered a reward to all members of the heinous Straw Hat Pirates. The amount of reward offered is so large, which is rare in the world. The tallest Captain Straw Hat has been increased from 100 million Baileys to 300 million. But the pet chopper who broke the record for the lower limit of the first reward was only a poor 50 berry. The kind you can't even afford a marshmallow. Such a blow once made Zuoba very negative. Not just choppers. At this moment, there is another person like him who is quite dissatisfied with the reports of Marine and World Government. Hey, it's fine if the bounty hasn't been increased, and the report didn't even mention it. The Marine guys are really floating. Could it be that they want to provoke me to go to Enies Lobby again and make a big fuss? Chi Yu was talking casually while watching the latest news report. The sound was transmitted to a place in New World thousands of miles away through the phone bug. Puff puff. Listening to Chi Yu's self-talk, 4 emperors, red-haired Shanks on the other end of the phone squirted out the fine wine he just drank. I said ancestors, you can calm down for a while. Why didn't Marine report? You should know best. After all, Admiral, the highest combat power they are proud of, was defeated by you in a minute. If this is reported, the face of Admiral and the 29th Navy will be lost. The red-haired Shanks spoke bitterly. I thought it was enough surprise to conquer the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki last time. The result has not been comforted for a few days. Suddenly such a big thing happened again. I'm too strong and blame me. Besides, Shanks, you asked me to take care of the Straw Hats this time. Could it be that you want me to watch them get wiped out by Marine's Buster Call? Chi Yu put his arms around his arms, and the old god asked back. No, my fault, my fault. You did very well. The red-haired Shanks quickly corrected himself. Open black lens bracket. This is more or less close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket for the sake of calling me ancestor close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Let's not argue with your big grandson close black lens bracket. Chi Yu thought generously. Ah poof. The other end of the phone bug. Redhead Shanks has the urge to vomit blood again. Pooh, Mahawk, who was not far away, laughed happily. He also clearly heard Chi Yu's inner voice at this moment. So when I heard that Chi Yu thought of himself as the ancestor of Shanks. Rao is as calm as an eagle's eye, but his expression is a little tense at the moment. I couldn't help laughing out loud. Is it Mahawk? Mahawk, are you smiling? The red-haired Shanks moved his ears, keenly aware of the sound on the other side. Makes out Mahawk's laugh. Idiot Shanks, stop talking stupid. Hawkeye Mahawk quickly sternly refuted. The red-haired Shanks did not give in, and argued with Hawkeye. A Sea Emperor. A world's #1 swordsman. At this moment, it's a joy. Hearing this, Chi Yu was amazed at the same time. I couldn't help improvising a paragraph for them. The result was eagle-eyed glares and the wailing of the phone bug's red-haired Shanks. What's wrong? You too, suddenly this is. Chi Yu was secretly suspicious. Advertisement. Okay, let's get down to business first. Beckman's voice came from the other end. The red-haired Shanks collected his emotions and was just about to speak. At this time, Shanks. Is it Shanks? A monkey-like figure broke through the window nimbly and ejected to the front. Listening to the familiar lively voice. There was silence on the other end of the phone. Immediately afterwards. Is it Luffy? It must be Luffy. This is definitely Luffy's voice. Although we haven't seen each other for 10 years, it's absolutely the same. It's Luffy. Fatty Lazyru, Usopp and other old people who have been following the red hair since more than 10 years ago all shouted and greeted happily. He, it's really you, Lou, Usopp, Beckman, and everyone. Straw Hat Luffy blew his nose and greeted warmly. Although it was just a call from thousands of miles away. But it was enough for everyone in Red Hair Pirates to be excited and excited. Preparations for the celebratory banquet then began. Yo, Luffy, it's been almost a year since I saw you. A forceful and steady voice came from the phone bug. Chi Yu and Mahawk who were listening were taken aback. In the next second, they reacted in unison. That full-bodied deep bass comes from the red-haired Shanks. On weekdays, I'm used to hearing the redhead's silly laugh. Suddenly heard his voice so solemn. Chi Yu couldn't help being a little unaccustomed to it. I thought I had misheard. Shanks, this B************* D, actually pretended to be in front of the younger generation. Open black lens bracket close black lens bracket. On the other end of the phone bug, the red-haired 4 emperors staggered. Hey, Shanks, did you see that? My current bounty is already 300 million berry. Straw Hat Luffy shows off the opening. Ah, we've seen it. It seems that we will be able to meet again soon. Come on, Luffy, I'll be waiting in New World for the day you return my hat. The red-haired Shanks continued to pretend to be deep. Open black lens bracket then just wait slowly close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It will take at least 2 years for the Straw Hat Boys to enter New World. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket but, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. 2 years later, this naive brat can even sit on an equal footing with his close black lens bracket. Chi Yu couldn't help thinking. Fifth in the sea, the sixth emperor. Open black lens bracket. When the time comes, let me help this cheating kid quit his addiction to kingship. Close black lens bracket. 4 emperors. Redhead Shanks. What's going on? The amount of information is huge. Can't laugh at all for a while. Why are Luffy and the others 2 years away from entering New World? The 6th Sea Emperor of the Sea. Luffy. How come? Even Luffy. Grow into a royal figure within 2 years. This is too exaggerated, even with that special rubber fruit ability. But that's not how it works. The red-haired Shanks only felt that there was a mountain-like groove in his heart, but he couldn't spit it out. I can only hold it in my heart alone. Ha ha ha, Luffy. My son Usopp, I have troubled you to take care of me. When Shanks was in a daze, Usopp took the phone and talked to the Straw Hat Luffy. Advertisement. Usopp. No, I have been taken care of by Usopp a lot. Usopp is now a brave sea warrior who can stand alone. Straw Hat Luffy spoke seriously. Ha ha ha, is that right? Usopp wept with joy, as expected of Usopp's son. Reiziru et al. Echoed. Oh, of course, Usopp said proudly. This moment, a certain long nose who was eavesdropping outside the window was already moved and burst into tears. Listening to Luffy affirming himself. Listen to Dad's complacency. Usopp was both happy and guilty inside. Decided. After I go back this time, I will never say anything like leaving casually again. Usopp secretly made up his mind. 11 years have passed between Straw Hat Luffy and red-haired Shanks. The dialogue across thousands of rivers and mountains did not last long. After the reappointment with the red hair, Straw Hat Luffy left in high spirits. Then, 957, let's continue. Before the business topic. Chi Yu said calmly. Okay. Redhead Shanks nodded. Not long ago, we received news. The Whitebeard pirate team led by Ace has captured Blackbeard's tail. I'm afraid it won't be long before the two sides will clash violently. Shanks spoke solemnly. So, what then? What does this have to do with me? Chi Yu asked indifferently. Ahahaha. Yes, this is an internal matter of the Whitebeard pirates, and we, the red hair pirates, really cannot interfere. It's the first time old man Whitebeard has listened to you. Shanks laughed foolishly. Say something quickly. You should have something else to tell me. Chi Yu urged. You really deserve to be Chi Yu. That's right, we've found the news this time. People from Marine and World Government are also involved, and they seem to be planning something. Shanks solemnly said. So, Shanks, you really want me to go for a walk? Chi Yu said that the old god is here. Ha ha. Redhead Shanks rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. And when? Where? Chi Yu asked directly. This has not yet been determined. I'll contact you when I'm sure. Shanks said. Tisk, what a hassle. Chi Yu said. Please, Ying, the redhead begged. Okay, but I don't guarantee that I won't accidentally kill some important person from the world government. You know, Marine is nothing more than that. I will not show mercy to people from world government. Chi Yu grinned. Redhead Shanks. Wait, crack. The phone bug hangs up. Advertisement Chapter 82. The knife that cuts through the sea, iron ball, and heaven and earth. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Time flies. In a blink of an eye, it was another 3 days. Under the leadership of two top shipbuilders, Frankie and Ace Bagu, Carrera's elite boat masters are firing on all cylinders. It was only 3 days before and after. A vigorous and sunny lion ship is completed. It is Straw Hat Crew's second ship, the Thousand Suns. Time to go sailing time. After some tugging, Frankie, who has long been interested in Straw Hat Crew, boarded the ship smoothly. However, the Thousand Suns did not set sail immediately. Because they still have a partner who has not arrived yet. The atmosphere of the Chenyang is very pleasant. The people headed by Captain Luffy happily visited the new ship. But the happy time is always short. Quickly, the folks at Straw Hat Crew just couldn't stop laughing. Because of the southeast direction, a huge dog-headed warship was slowly heading towards them. It was the warship of Garp, the hero of Marine. Aha. Garp, what are you talking about? You be asterisk. D. Tell me again if you have the ability. Marshal Sengoku's growl came from the phone bug. Stop rambling, Sengoku, so I've already said it. Since Luffy is my grandson, I won't catch him. Garp growled unabashedly. Garp, you be asterisk. D. How dare you say that? As long as you are honest and kind, you'll be fine. How dare you be so righteous? Now, as the marshal, I order you to arrest the Straw Hat Pirates immediately. If you can't catch it, crack. The phone bug then hung up. Humph. Garp took an angry stride of disbelief. I had no choice but to order. Even if you don't want to catch it, at least you have to pretend. Vice Admiral Garp, we just say goodbye to Mr. Luffy. Isn't it good to suddenly want to catch them again? Sergeant Sao Kebi plucked up the courage to ask. Stop rambling, and if you want to complain, go to that guy Sengoku. Damn it, that kid Sengoku really sucked him to death today. Garp clicked his nostrils angrily. This is because Mr. Garp told him in the phone bug, "That's my grandson," all the sailors on the deck, all complaining in their hearts. Garp took the big horn from his subordinates and stood on the head of the giant Sharpei. "Hey, Luffy, can you hear me? This is Grandpa, this is Grandpa. If you hear it, tell me back." Garp whimpered loudly. "Grandpa, what are you doing? Didn't you say you're not here to catch us?" Straw Hat Luffy yells back. "Because a lot of things have happened, there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry, you'd better bury me in the bottom of the sea." Garp said mercilessly. Alas, Luffy, Chopper and others were all shocked. Next second, a small black dot suddenly enlarged in their field of vision. A huge splash exploded on the sea near the Chenyang. It was a cannonball. Advertisement. Not fired from the muzzle. It was a cannonball thrown artificially. What? What is that? Luffy, your grandpa is manually throwing cannonballs at us. Nami exclaimed in surprise. And the shells thrown by hand are even more terrifying than the cannon fire. What a monster old man that is. The smoke from the corner of Sanji's horrified mouth fell to the ground. This is the strength of marine heroes who are not under the Emperor of the Sea. Zoro's face turned green, and he drew his sword out of its sheath. "Everyone, we must protect our ship." Straw Hat Luffy shouted the order. Take a deep breath. His body suddenly inflated into a large balloon. Fly the shells thrown by Garp. Boom 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 boom. The sound of artillery fire continued. Continuously. The sea set off a stormy sea. The Xinsheng Chenyang was also forced to leave gradually. At any moment, it could be capsized under Garp's meteor shower. Luffy, not yet. Luffy refused. "Captain, wait a minute," Straw Hat said firmly. "Ah, I smell it, it's Usopp, here comes Usopp." Chopper suddenly yelled happily. "I saw near the broken bridge in the capital of water. A huge cloud of smoke and dust was raised from the ground. Usopp, the long-nosed boy, runs wildly. While running, he called for the Chenyang, which was drifting away in the distance. It's just that there is still no remorse and guilt for leaving without authorization in the words. Luffy, Usopp is calling us." Chopper yelled anxiously. "I didn't hear that," Luffy said in a deep voice. "Zoro." Chopper looked at Zoro. "I didn't hear that." Zoro replied. The other crew members are also concentrating on fighting against the fist meteor shower from Garp. "Are you kidding me?" Usopp stared blankly at the drifting pirate group. He clenched his fists, his body trembled slightly, and then he knelt down on the shore powerlessly. There was nothing he could do. "You really want to abandon?" Usopp had tears in his eyes. Suddenly he seemed to think of something. Everyone who isn't Straw Hat crew is ditching him. It was he who abandoned the partners who had walked together so far without authorization. If it really ends here, he was no brave sea warrior at all. Even Dad would be ashamed of his stupidity. Think here. Usopp looked up sharply. "Sorry, I'm too desperate to save face, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Although things are embarrassing now, I am the one who wants to leave, but can you let me take back this sentence? Please, take me, let me go with you. Let me be your partner again." Usopp's weeping yell echoed off the sky. Everyone in the straw hat on the lion boat smiled knowingly. Advertisement. "Stupid, don't hurry up and catch me." Straw Hat Luffy wept with joy as his outstretched arms reached the shore. Laughter. The last member of the Straw Hat crew returns to the team. Oh, brother Frankie. Straw Hats. Bon voyage. And run quickly. The Frankie family who came to say goodbye shouted and said goodbye to Carrera's shipmasters excitedly. At this time, boom, heavy footsteps suddenly came from behind them. That long-nosed brat from Usopp's family. At the end, finally, he didn't lose face to your father. A powerful and magnetic voice came. Ah. What's the matter with this man? So hot. Is he the son? The people who came to see them off made way independently. Shocked and panicked, he looked at the tall figure walking between them. There is always an inexplicable sense of familiarity. I think so too. Speaking of which, does this person? Hey, I remembered. After I came back that day, he was the one who first spread the word. This man is Mr. Chi Yu. The Frankie family and the Carrera company were all shocked. They have already recognized the identity of this sun-like man. The rumors are true. This adult around noon will transform. It's scary in the normal state. Now, how powerful is this gentleman? Accompanied by the shock and uproar of the people, Chi Yu jumped forward, straight across 100 meters to the coast. At the same time, well done. The Straw Hat Luffy who finally gathered his friends stood on the bow of the boat, dancing and saying goodbye to his grandfather and the city of water. The result of his behavior was to further anger Garp. Look, what is that? What a big shell. Ah. No, I will die. Looking at the huge iron ball that suddenly appeared on the warship behind him. Nami and the others all had beautiful faces that couldn't help being frightened. How dare you underestimate me? Don't try to escape. With a roar, Garp threw the specially made big iron ball that was comparable to the bow of a warship. The huge iron ball, as heavy as a mountain, brought a shadow that could smash everything, and fell towards the Xinsheng Chenyang. But at this moment, a dense but hot sword intent suddenly appeared between the sky and the earth. The wind died down. The cloud is quiet. The raging sea calmed down. This is youth. Zoro suddenly turned his head and looked towards the shore. What came into his line of sight was a terrifying and boundless scorching sun sword energy. The sea is split. The huge special iron ball was cut off. This bright knife seems to split the sky and the earth together. Go, little devils. This is the last time. Advertisement Chapter 83 Hero vs. Arrogance. Garp and Chi Yu are finally at war. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. The noon sun was particularly strong. However, no matter how strong the sun is, it is far from being able to compare with the radiant sword light of the scorching sun. What a dazzling knife that is. First appeared. Even the scorching sun in the sky was dimmed. The huge sword energy of hundreds of meters has both the fierceness of the sword and the heat of the sun. The golden red sword energy that turned into the color of magma seemed to be burning. Start with the east-south blue shore of the water capital. The burning sword light passed straight to everything between the huge warship and the little lion. The speed is so fast that few people can react. Rumble. The calm sea was filled with violent waves. Under the blazing sun-like sword energy, a huge gap was torn open in the sea. I don't know how deep the ravine is. Under a knife. The surface of the sea was forcibly split. Crash. Sea water splashes hundreds of meters into the air. A ferocious sea gully then appeared. It's not over yet. After the cracking of the sea, the specially made huge iron ball thrown by the marine hero Garp froze suddenly before falling down. Accompanied by the scorching sun-like sword light passing by. A bright thin line suddenly lit up on the surface of the huge iron ball. Immediately afterwards, under the horrified eyes of the people in the water city who saw off on the coast. Under the shocked eyes of the sailors and straw hat crew. So far, the huge iron ball of 100 meters has split in two without warning. It was cut open by the terrifying scorching sun sword light. The incision is smooth as a mirror. Shenyang's cabin power room. Frankie whistled easily. Some moment. Coke energy is filled. Get ready to fly the 820. Wind to cannon. Frankie grinned confidently. The Coke Fatian system was activated immediately. The jet port at the stern of the Thousand Sun erupted with brilliant light. The terrifying propulsion brought the Shenyang and the people on board soaring into the sky. Its master Chi Yu, Nami grabbed the rail of the boat, pointed to the distant shore, and shouted excitedly. Mr. Chi Yu. Robin covered his heart with his slender hands. I just felt my little heart beating violently. However, in the end it turned into a sigh. Amazing. Straw Hat Luffy's eyes shine. Such a big iron ball can be cut off with one blow. So strong indeed. The Emperor of the Sea. Ha 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 ha. Everyone in 4 Emperor's red hair pirates including my dad is amazing. Zoro, Sanji, Chopper, Usopp and others all shouted happily. Vice Admiral Garp, Straw Hat crew's gone flying. A Marine Rear Admiral yells to report. Don't worry about such trivial matters. The problem now is that man. Garp turned his head suddenly. Eyes locked on the eye-catching figure on the distant coast. 3 days ago, for Gion's sake, he didn't care about it. But this time, oh, what the hell is Chi Yu trying to do? On the second deck, Gion, who was traveling with him, was secretly anxious. Watching Garp gearing up, she knows. This battle is probably inevitable. Advertisement. Arrogant brat. CJCF, eat me. Garp grinned. He reached up and grabbed the spring chain of the oversized iron ball. The moment the arm muscles bulged, the remaining half of the big iron ball suddenly broke through the sea. With Garp's swing, Chi Yu's hood fell towards the east-south blue bank. Swish swish swish. The blazing sun-like sword light reappeared intensively. Boom. Rumble. On the half-iron ball with a diameter of 100 meters, crisscrossing rays of light lit up. Then it exploded. It turned into countless tiny fragments and fell to the sea. Come and don't reciprocate. Chi Yu grinned. Gathered a lot of the power of the sun. Griffin, the famous sword with a red blade, pointed at the huge dog-headed warship hundreds of meters away. One knife out. The undulating sea once again cracked a huge gully. The terrifying slash shone with a bright and dazzling halo. Enlarged in the eyes of all the sailors on the kobold warship. Facing this terrifying slash that could cut open the world. Kebi, Belumbo, and Marine's heart throbbed to the extreme. Unprecedented fear and despair shrouded their hearts. Diffused to occupy their whole body and mind. In front of that slash. All living beings seem so small. Not good, not good, not good. Dying. This blow, if you get it, the warship will not be able to hold it. The G3 sailors under Garp looked terrified. He wanted to do something, but he was powerless. His whole body was stiff with fear, motionless. Chi Yu, you are really. On the second deck, Gion clenched his fists tightly. The pretty face was full of indignation. After all, she is still on the boat now. However, Chi Yu still swung the knife without hesitation. Facing that level of terrifying slashing. Even as a great swordsman and a candidate for Marine Admiral, she couldn't block it. But Gion knew it too. The knife Chi Yu swung was not to miss her. It's just purely wanting to provoke Garp to make a move. But I can't just settle the account of wielding a knife at my place without authorization. The next time we meet again, I will definitely let you succumb to my foot skills. The corner of Gion's mouth curled up in a haughty arc. At the end, I added in my heart, absolutely can't find him at noon. Because it will definitely be counter-killed. I still have to make an inch. Okay, then I'll let you have a taste of the old man's iron fist of love. Garp yelled, facing the terrifying and fierce Leong slash. Garp's knees are slightly bent. His feet crushed the deck of the warship. The body suddenly soared into the air. Do not dodge or avoid. Facing the scorching sword light head on. The fist is like a shooting star. Bright in the sky. Boom. That was the world trembling. Stormy waves lapped against the shore. A bright meteor streaked across the sky. That is the fist of a hero. Iron Fist. Meteor. Marine legend Vice Admiral Hero Garp's roar shook the sky. Advertisement. Wrap around Ultimate's powerful armament Hockey's punch, knocking down. The dazzling light shines on the sky and the earth. Occupy the whole field of vision. Nothing is visible. The slash that shone with the rays of the blazing sun completely surrounded and swallowed Garp's figure. Boom. There was a loud bang. Resounded through the sky. Rumble. The shock wave of terrifying power starts from the center where the two touched, and spreads in all directions. The entire warship, and the sailors on the deck of the warship. All were shrouded in the aftermath of this terror. So even standing is difficult. Crash. The waves are monstrous. A huge wave surged. Like a tsunami, layers of oil tanks. Overwhelming. Just like the gods of water, they shot down towards the coast of the capital of water. What's going on? Where's Mr. Garp? How's Vice Admiral Garp going? Kebby and other sailors were screaming and screaming. Look over there. Vice Admiral Garp is on top of the tsunami. Bogart screamed in shock. But see Marine hero Garp ride the tsunami. Once again, Chi-Yu swung his iron fist at the coast of the water capital. Come on, Garp. Chi-Yu neither dodges nor evades. Unflinchingly attack. With one foot, the shore was crushed. Another kick, crushing the void. Step by step, Chi-Yu stepped on the atmosphere and soared into the sky. Meet the menacing marine heroes without giving up. Chi-Yu, Garp, whoosh, whoosh. In the sky, two bright meteors seem to appear out of thin air. Wherever it passes, the atmosphere escapes in the sound of explosion. In an instant, the two strikes almost represent the strongest fists in the world colliding in the sky. Boom. This moment, it is as if there is a supreme war drum beating between heaven and earth. It seems that the heart of heaven and earth is beating. An incomparable shock wave centered on the two fists. Attacking in all directions, ripples like waves appeared in the void. Bright light blooms, and then burst. That is the dissipated bit of fist power. Falling into the sea will cause the sea to explode into huge waves one after another. The waves surged and rushed up to the sky. Fist power rushed to the sky. Then the sky shattered like a mirror. There is extremely chaotic convection in the atmosphere between the sky and the earth, and the thrusting ocean current is rolled up. It turned into a raging and terrifying waterspout storm. And this is just the beginning. The official confrontation between the legendary marine hero Garp and the arrogant sun at noon began. Ordinary people can't see the figures of the two fighting in the sky at all. You can only vaguely see the traces of them crossing the air. This is a confrontation of the world's top combat power. Everyone who witnessed this scene was shocked inexplicably. And in the near future, it will even shock the whole world with the news reports. Advertisement Chapter 84 Garp defeated. Hawkeye Mahawk's biggest secret. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. The rocks pierced through the sky. The stormy waves hit the shore. Roll up 1,000 waves. The sea near the southeast of the capital of water is boiling. The sea and sky trembled. The shock waves of the duel of the strong spread and spread, causing the entire water capital to shake and tremble. The terrified yells of the city residents came one after another, one after another. The legendary hero of the marine and the uncrowned king of the Grand Line. Hero Garp and arrogant Chi-Yu. The battle between the two strongest men of the sea has reached the 300th move. There are still 5 minutes before Chi-Yu reaches the real peak. The duel ends abruptly. Chi-Yu and Garp, the two powerhouses tacitly separated from each other. One side returns to the coast. The other party returned to the Doghead warship. This battle of the century has come to an end for the time being. It's a dead end. As for why it stopped in a hurry. Naturally because both Chi-Yu and Garp knew it clearly. If continue, even if their battlefield is at sea. But it will inevitably affect the ordinary people in the water capital. Compared to normal islands, water is much more fragile. Because the layers of the building are based on the building. If the foundation crumbles, at that time, the entire water capital will fall apart. This is not the result Chi-Yu wants to see. Nor is Garp able to bear the consequences. So, the battle can only be suspended. Congratulations, Marine's hero, Garp. If you fight again next time, your legend will definitely end. Chi-Yu spoke calmly. The sound is like a bell and thunder, echoing under the sky. Nani, what did you say? Arrogant brat, this time it's your luck. See you next time, I will definitely beat you to the ground. Garp blushed and had a thick neck, angrily reprimanded, and spoke harshly. Mr. Garp, why don't you bandage the wound first? Guion suppressed a smile and reminded seriously. Garp snorted dissatisfied. Angrily, he pushed away the military doctor who was about to treat his wound. Small injuries of this degree will heal in a blink of an eye, and there is no need to deal with them at all. Say it. Garp walked back to the cabin with an unrecognizable pace. Stay back in your own captain's cabin. Sizzling. Garp gasped sharply. That monster kid is really ruthless. If I fight for another 5 minutes, even I won't be able to get out of it. It's decided. Next time I will bully him at night. HMPH, let's see if you can still be proud. Time flies. Advertisement. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is still Hulk Island on the east coast of South Blue, the capital of water. Mahawk, the world's #1 swordsman with the strongest black knife on his back, sits in meditation on the coffin boat. Some moment, there was the sound of rustling footsteps. Ah, ow, Chi Yu let out a big yawn lazily. Sleep full, sleep full. Yo, Mahawk, you're still waiting for me. As soon as Chi Yu said that, he boarded the boat. Not Hawkeye's coffin boat, though. But next to it, a vigorous sheep boat about 5 times larger than the coffin boat. It's a smaller version of Going Merry. It's also the brainchild of Chi Yu these days. Mahawk, would you like to come and sit on my boat? This is my masterpiece. Chi Yu grinned and extended an invitation to Mahawk. In other words, the coffin ship Mahawk looks more and more ominous. Open black lens bracket. Don't be naive and take him away. Close black lens bracket. Mahawk seemed to choke. He opened his eagle-like eyes and stared at Chi Yu quietly. What's wrong? Chi Yu was at a loss. No, nothing. It's free, my boat is fine. Hawkeye spoke calmly. Decline Chi Yu's invitation. Chi Yu shrugged and didn't force it. Then let's go. The coordinates have been sent. Chi Yu smiled and said. Do not. Mahawk shook his head. This is the end of our journey together. He opened his bright eagle eyes and spoke seriously. Hey, there's another very interesting event coming up, Mahawk. You really don't want to join in the fun together? Chi Yu asked back. No need. Hawkeye resolutely refused. Joke. It's not like he didn't miss Chi Yu's contact with the red-haired Shanks last time. It's not just an affair within the Whitebeard pirates. Even Marine and world government will be involved. He is also a member of 7 warlords of the sea for the time being. Belongs to the same camp as Marine and world government. If it is really involved, at that time, it will inevitably be another troublesome matter. Rather than that, it would be better to withdraw early. And most importantly, Hawkeye Mahawk has had enough of Chi Yu's voice. There are people around who choreograph themselves from time to time. Can't ask myself yet. This feels really aggrieved. Of course, if Hawkeye knew, how did Chi Yu shoot Shanks' words in his heart? He would probably be secretly glad too. Advertisement. Chi Yu still gave him some face. Compared with Shanks, the extent of his shooting is already considered light. Let's part here temporarily. See you next time. Hawkeye Mahawk cupped his hands. Really? Then goodbye. Although Chi Yu has regrets in her heart, she will not force anything too much. After a simple goodbye, Chi Yu and Hawkeye Mahawk. The coffin boat and the Mianyang boat are facing east and west. Asking for flowers. Officially parted ways. Only, watch as Hawkeye Mahawk recedes. Chi Yu couldn't help thinking curiously again. Sure enough, Mahawk's ship is a big coffin. Hawkeye. I would love to. Open black lens bracket. By the way, if there is no me, how will Mahawk's 3 meals be solved? Close black lens bracket. Hawkeye. I want you to take care of it. Open black lens bracket. Ah, I forgot. A question I wanted to ask a long time ago. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. How did the Mahawk ship cross the comm belt? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Comm belt. His sails don't work. Close black lens bracket. I also didn't see wood pulp or something on the boat. By the way, that guy Mahawk is probably using his forehead to make a pulp. Hee hee. Thinking of the picture of Hawkeye Mahawk slashing water with a black knife, this can't help but make me laugh. As for Hawkeye on the other side, at this moment, I already have the urge to vomit blood. Before they left, they still suffered such an attack. What made him even more upset was that my biggest secret was discovered by someone. Follow what the permanent pointer points to. Starting from the capital of water, Tiano. Chi Yu came to a rich island group. Grand Line, Diamond Islands. This is one of the rare and rich island groups in the Grand Line. The major islands have extremely developed commerce. As the origin of world-famous rare items and luxury accessories, it is favored by nobles from countless countries. Such a developed commercial archipelago empire. If they were left alone, they would be ransacked by the vicious pirates within 3 or 2 days, turning them into a scorched wasteland. The reason why it has been safe and sound, naturally has its reasons. The Diamond Islands were before the age of the great pirates. Even going back hundreds of years, it has always had a close relationship with world government and marine. Every year, this archipelago pays a single island the heavenly gold equivalent to the sum of several world government member countries. Such a high price for protection. The protection of this big fat sheep area by the government and marine is naturally meticulous. For hundreds of years, every waterway here is patrolled seamlessly by Marine's patrol ships 24 hours a day. Since the era of great pirates, Marine even moved the Marine G3 branch base to the vicinity of this archipelago to guard and deter one side. Normally, the pirates in the first half of the Grand Line. Unless you are very confident in your own strength, you will never take the initiative to come here to make trouble and plunder. After all, the base commander of this G3 base is Marine's legendary Vice Admiral Hero Garp. Even now that Garp is no longer in the base, the pirates dare not make trouble in his territory. Of course this is normal. The most indispensable thing in this world is exceptions. As now, extremely rare and abnormal picture. It is happening in this sea area at the moment. Advertisement chapter 85 He is the arrogant Chi Yu of the uncrowned emperor. Open black lens bracket subscription. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Grand Line, Diamond Islands. A pirate ship carried by 2 poisonous snakes is swaggering. Sail into the sea sheltered by marine heroes without any scruples. The name of the pirate ship is Perfume Snake. Its shape adopts the type of ancient oriental cruise ship, and the whole body is bright red. On the top of the mast, there are 9 flying snakes around the skull, representing its identity. The 9 snake pirates of the famous daughter country 9 Snake Island. The pirate ship is the pirate ship of the 9 snakes, that is the 9 snake pirates. The 9 snake pirates are here, everyone get ready. A group of idiots, hurry up and prepare the goods, this young master will be the first to win the favor of the Empress. The arrival of the 9 snake pirates quickly attracted the attention of the major merchant ships on the nearby routes. Suddenly, the entire sea area was lively and even boiling. It's just the opposite of the general merchant ship's panic when it encounters pirates. The people of these merchant ships became more and more excited after learning that it was the ship of 9 snakes. Instead of fleeing away immediately, all the merchant ships turned around immediately. The collective swarmed in the direction of the Perfume Snake, like cats smelling fishy. 1-3. One Piece, Boa Hancock, this Diamond Islands has an agreement with our marine and is protected by marine. Although you are the 7 warlords of the sea and have legal permission to plunder, please give us a face, and give the hero Vice Admiral Garp a face. Marine, who has been staring at this sea area, naturally cannot ignore the appearance of the 9 snake pirates. A small patrol ship was dispatched immediately. Negotiate with Hydra before the merchant ships gather. Even at the expense of the name of the hero Garp. However, it's an eyesore. Gentian, blast it away. On the pirate ship of the Perfume Snake, the pirate queen Boa Hancock waved her hand proudly and indifferently. There is no fear of the name of the hero Garp. To understanding. The 9 snake warrior with a ball head and a lady's cigarette dangling from his mouth grinned. He raised the bazooka in his hand high and fired a shot at the small patrol ship. Amidst the rumbling sound, the small marine patrol ship was blown to pieces, and the flames billowed. Fortunately, the sailors above jumped into the sea 1 step ahead of time, which saved their lives. UB ********** D Pirate Empress, you actually dare to do something. Under Garp's order, Naval Headquarters Rear Admiral, who was in charge of staying in this sea area, Ulas squeezed the space between his brows with a headache. There was nothing he could do about Boa Hancock's arrogant behavior. Not to mention that with his strength, he is no match for the Pirate Empress. Furthermore, Boa Hancock, who is 7 warlords of the sea, has a legal plunder license issued by the world government. Finally, looking at the performance of those merchant ships on the sea, there is no fear of the 9 snake pirates at all, but they are willing to rush to be plundered one by one. Especially Lars is very clear about the reasons for this. Pirate Empress Boa Hancock, king of the 9 snake island daughter country. At the same time, there is another more resounding reputation, the most beautiful woman in the world. After any person or thing is crowned the number 1 in the world, it will be very different. For example, Mahawk, the world's number 1 swordsman. It is also like Boa Hancock's name of the world's most beautiful woman. For the rich 2nd generation of the Chamber of Commerce from a wealthy family, mere general goods are nothing at all. It is their greatest expectation to see the legendary goddess who looks like a fairy up close with these goods. What's more, many of them thought that if they were taken back to 9 Snake Island by the Empress, what a wonderful thing it would be. You must know that 9 Snake Island, the country of daughters, is a place where there are only women. For men, it is simply a happy paradise. Even Rear Admiral, especially Russ himself. Bah, I'm a righteous marine, how could I be bewitched by a mere pink skeleton? 11. Advertisement. On the observation deck of the warship, Rear Admiral, especially Lars, spoke awe-inspiringly. To change hands is to snatch the observation mirror from his subordinates, and look at the Pirate Empress on the 9 Snakes ship in the distance without blinking. Especially Lars Rear Admiral, the lookout duty is mine. The sea soldier who was robbed of the observation mirror suddenly shouted with dissatisfaction. What are you shouting for? You're laid off. I'll monitor it myself next time. Pirate Empress, I have a newly produced high-quality perfume here, please be sure to plunder me. My lady queen, it's not just this pile of goods, I'm willing to give up all my family property, just to be able to be a licking dog by the queen's side. The one in front, don't take a pee to see what you look like. You have a fat head and big ears, and you have the face to say such things. How could Mr. Boa Hancock take a fancy to you? Boa Hancock, my Lord Empress. As more and more merchant ships gathered, the sea was suddenly noisy. On the deck, the Empress Boa Hancock frowned. It's really a group of noisy and smelly men. I don't even want to look at them. Mary, Sonia, I leave this place to you. Boa Hancock said in disgust, and turned to return to the cabin door. Yes, my lord. The tall Boya sisters, Sandersonia and Marigold both nodded yes. Form discipline with the rest of the Hydra warriors, and get merchant ships to line up for their pick and plunder. The entire plundering process was methodical. There was no bloody fight. There is no heart-piercing yelling of crying father and mother. Some are just orderly and willing. Such an elegant phenomenon of plundering and being plundered does not exist in the entire history of pirates, but it is absolutely rare. All because of the world's best beauty of the pirate queen Boa Hancock. From noon to dusk, on the deck of the Perfume Snake, boxes of precious goods are piled up continuously. After the tribute was paid, the merchant ships that lost their extraction value were kicked away by the sturdy women of 9 Snakes. The sun was setting. There are only 3 or 2 merchant ships in the Shandong Sea area. Still unwilling to give up, I want to see the peerless face of Empress Hancock again. Even if you can't see the Empress Hancock, it's good to see the sturdy girls of 9 Snakes. Daisy, have all the merchant ships been looted? Wearing a sexy swimsuit, the 9 Snake navigator Purple Fanhua asked with his right leg wrapped in delicate long silk. Yes, all the merchant ships have been cleared. Daisy, a girl with an exaggerated smile, raised her hand to report. What? Suddenly, someone called out coquettishly, as if they had discovered something. Target found. Southeast direction. New ship found. Kadri Genshin report. That ship doesn't seem to be coming towards us. Could it be an ordinary passing boat? Kadri Cosmos guess. This is really good. After today's day, I'm really bored to death. Sure enough, pirates want to plunder legally. The Kadri Daisy laughed exaggeratedly. Advertisement. Purple Fan Flower. Go ask Master Hancock and the others for instructions, let's go and play now. The tough girls of the 9 Snakes are all locked onto the slowly swimming sheep boat, gearing up and eager to try. Relying on the beauty of Empress Hancock, it is convenient to attract others to offer tribute. But it lacks a lot of fun. It doesn't match their pirate status. Now it's hard to meet someone special. Everyone naturally wants to have fun. Quickly, the request of the 9 Snake girls has been affirmatively responded. Sha la la, 2 poisonous snakes and a dragon wagging their tails, even turning around. Not long, 9 Snakes Dehonglo boat stopped in front of the sheep boat. Daisy, Genshin and other brave cadres took the lead and landed on the sheep boat. Start searching and looting. Hey, is this ship a ghost ship? Why didn't anyone see it? Cosmos, the cadre who had searched the bottom cabin, whispered suspiciously. There's no one in the room above either. Reported by others. It's so strange. All the girls of 9 Snakes were in a waning mood. At this time, a sudden yawn caught people's attention. On the mast, Purple Fanhua let out a loud cry. 4.8 Everyone suddenly looked up in unison. Then there seemed to be someone stretched in the special observation deck that saw the mast. Well, it's a little lively. Chi Yu stood up and looked sleepily at the tough girls below. At the same time, the girls of the 9 Snake pirates were finally able to see Chi Yu clearly. What? There was a sudden scream of panic. This moment. Watching Chi Yu on the lookout. The eyes of the sturdy 9 Snake female warriors opened wide at the same time. All the faces were full of unbelievable expressions as if they had seen a ghost. A certain encounter 4 years ago could not help appearing in their minds. At that time, they also intercepted a ghost ship at sea. The owner of the ghost ship is also dozing on the mast. History is always strikingly similar. Everything is as it was yesterday. Even more coincidental, even people are exactly the same. He is, from the Red Hair Pirates. The uncrowned emperor, arrogance no Chi Yu. Oh, no, why is it him again? Advertisement Chapter 86 History repeats itself. The 9 Snake Pirates mentality has collapsed. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. He is, Minister of the Red Hair Pirates. The uncrowned emperor, arrogance no Chi Yu. Why is it him again? This moment, when you recognize Chi Yu leaning out from the mast lookout. The sturdy female warriors of the 9 Snake Pirates all stared in shock at the same time. There was an expression of horror like a ghost that couldn't be restrained on all the faces. The moment I saw Chi Yu appearing, the first sight. They have already recognized the true identity of the man who was targeted by them and helped Beijing. Except because the reputation of the uncrowned emperor Chi Yu was big enough. For the 9 Snake Pirates present, there is another, deeper reason. Similar to today's development, as early as 4 years ago. They've been through it once. Cannot be said to have known each other. It can only be said that it is completely consistent. That's right. The scene they are experiencing now is almost exactly the same as the one they experienced 4 years ago. One day 4 years ago. Dispirited by their boring looting, they saw the boat that ignored them. As today, the Kadri Daisy and the others were immediately interested. After consulting the captain, he overtook the boat. A login search. As a result, no one was seen. Just when preparing to withdraw troops. A head popped out of nowhere on the lookout of the mast. And that was the beginning of their nightmare. They should also be unlucky. The encounter with Chi Yu was not long before 11 o'clock in the morning. So including the proud pirate Queen Boa Hancock. All the fighters of the 9 Snake Pirates were baptized by the arrogant Chi Yu. He was so overwhelmed that he couldn't even raise his head. A great pirate of the Shichibukai class. The famous 9 Snake Pirates. He was actually overwhelmed by an inexplicable man who appeared from nowhere. This blow is naturally not small. It almost makes people, including Empress Hancock, doubt life. Then, the entire pirate group, from the captain and the Empress Hancock, down to the general members. It was because of this that I was negative for several days. Until later. Advertisement. They saw more and more reports about Chi Yu in the newspapers. Learned that he was a member of the 4 Emperors Red Hair Pirates. He was even recognized as the uncrowned emperor by the world. The girls of the 9 Snake Pirates were relieved one after another and walked out of the shadows. They are, of course, Shichibukai level great pirates. But if the opponent is the Emperor of the Sea, then there is no way. Being educated and overwhelmed by the Emperor of the Sea is a matter of course. Anyway, as long as you have a long memory, don't provoke them next time. If you encounter them, walk around and you're done. The sea is so big. Red hair pirates are back at New World. For those who were active in the first half, if they want to meet Chi-Yu again, it may be harder than winning the lottery. However, it's such a small probability. But they still met unfortunately. After 4 years, they once again provoked the man who had brought them a huge psychological shadow. Worse yet, this time, they were the ones who came to the door by themselves and bumped into it. History is surprisingly similar. The emotion called shock instantly occupied the bodies and minds of all the fighters of the 9 snake pirates. Immediately after, emotions such as fear and panic emerged. Because they recalled Chi-Yu's words before he left 4 years ago in their minds. Forget it this time. If there is a next time, it won't be so simple and forget it. I thought the next time was far away. Looking back suddenly. The next time it actually came. This moment, the hearts of the tough girls of the 9 snake pirates were all in their throats. The worst situation. Their 9 snake pirates will be destroyed here today. Think here. Their faces were all white. Just when the girls of 9 snakes were shocked and panicked. Despair. The footsteps sounded again, but very slightly. But to the ears of the 9 snakes, it was tantamount to thunder, waking them up from their sluggishness. Waiting to see Chi-Yu who appeared on their boat at some time. The delicate bodies of all the female warriors could not help but tremble. Why are you 9 snakes again? Sure enough, there is a lot of fate between us. Chi-Yu smiled brightly. This is our line, why is it you again? Besides, who wants to have a relationship with you? We don't want to. Zifanhua, Jendon and other cadres were heartbroken. Advertisement. But he didn't dare to say anything more. Hee. Then girls from 9 snakes, stop me this time, what's the matter with you? Chi-Yu folded his arms and asked a question with a smile. Misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. We didn't know this was your ship, Mr. Chi-Yu. So, are you planning to rob me like last time? Chi-Yu asked back. I should have said it 4 years ago, don't have a next time. The voice fell. Chi-Yu's introverted aura burst out suddenly, sharp and powerful. Feel the imposing impact from Tyrant. Even the 9 snake cadres, who have experienced many battles, only feel that their breathing is stagnant at this moment. But after all, they are also tough 9 snake fighters from the fighting nation. Even knowing that the man in front of him is one of the most terrifying sea emperors standing at the top of the world. Even though the heart is full of fear, knowing that the odds of winning are slim. But they won't just let it go. Each of them drew out their weapons as soon as possible and prepared for battle. Don't be so nervous. 567. Meeting me again and again, this is the fate between us. Looking at this fate, I will tolerate you one more time. Chi-Yu grinned slightly at the corner of his mouth and smiled gently. The smile is bright, like the spring breeze blowing on the face. However, no matter how kind the smile on Chi-Yu's face is, no matter how harmless it is to humans and animals. The vigilance of the 9 snake fighters still hasn't eased in the slightest. Because they know that no matter how kind the devil smiles, he is still a devil, after all. Don't look at the man in front of you at the moment being kind and friendly, just like the big boy next door. Whoever is qualified to stand at the top of the world will be the easy one. If there is a slight slack, it will be eaten up and wiped clean in an instant. Enough. Just when all the 9 snake girls were waiting in full battle, the atmosphere was tense. A cold and majestic woman's coquettish voice suddenly sounded from the cabin. Everyone, step down. The majestic order came from the cabin. Clatter. The crisp sound of high heels slapping the deck forms a melodious movement. Captain of the 9 snake pirates. Boa Hancock, the most beautiful pirate queen in the world, raised her head and listened to the evil. With a proud posture, he stepped out under the guard of the 2 door god sisters, and faced Chi Li directly. Those long and narrow Chushui pupils lifted up slightly. Eyes on each other. Instantly. Sparks fly. Advertisement Chapter 87 Conqueror's Confrontation. Crushing the Empress. The difference between heaven and earth. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Enough. A cold and majestic scolding sound sounded from the cabin. Lord Hancock. Master Snake Princess. Listening to the beautiful female voice coming out of the cabin, all the soldiers of the 9 snakes suddenly showed joy. Everyone stand down. The majestic and coquettish reprimand sounded again. Yes, Master Snake Princess. All the soldiers responded loudly, and immediately retreated to both sides of the cabin. Pata. The vermilion door of the cabin opened. Wearing a close-fitting purple cheongsam with patterned high forks, her posture is glamorous. The tall and slender woman, who was extremely beautiful, stepped out with arrogance all over her body. She is none other than Boa Hancock, the pirate empress known as the most beautiful woman in the world. Chi-Yu is no stranger to Empress Hancock. Compared to Shichibukai's name, the title of the most beautiful woman in the world is much more resounding. As one of the 3 peerless beauties in the One Piece world handpicked by Oda, Boa Hancock is indeed worthy of this title. She was already pretty. Plus the Paramesh's sweet fruit ability. Whether it is appearance or posture, they are all peerless. This is a woman who is enough to drive 99% of men in the world crazy. Waves burst, slapping on the hull of the perfume snake, making a clattering sound. On the deck of the perfume snake pirate ship, the atmosphere is extremely quiet. All the 9 snake female warriors said nothing. He just stared frantically at the heavenly fairy, who slowly appeared from the cabin. That's their captain, their emperor, and their faith, Pirate Queen Boa Hancock. Click. Boa Hancock kept walking. The 10 cm slender high heel collides with the deck, playing a beautiful movement. After a few seconds, Boa Hancock stopped walking, looking at Chi Yu at a distance of about 10 meters. The four eyes are facing each other. When the eyes of Chi Yu and Empress Boa Hancock met, the air on the entire ship seemed to freeze at this moment. Invisibly, there seemed to be sparks bursting and splashing. That was the invisible confrontation between Chi Yu and Boa Hancock. Even knowing that the man in front of him is one of the terrifying existences standing at the top of the world. Even if you know that even you don't have much chance of winning. But Boa Hancock's response is still strong. Because she is the proud pirate empress. At the same time, she is the most beautiful woman in the world. It is her ego that she will be forgiven no matter what she does. No matter what kind of opponent she faces, she will not easily lower her high head. This is her strength. The humiliation of 4 years ago is absolutely not allowed to happen again today. Advertisement. This is her firm belief at the moment. Only, Empress Hancock has forgotten the most important point. That's her ego, her strength and her conquerors. In front of Chi Yu, it is not worth mentioning at all. Crash Lala, a ruthless wind suddenly appeared on the sea, blowing Boa Hancock's black hair. At the same time, it was accompanied by an indescribable oppressive momentum. This is Conqueror's Hockey, sister. Feeling the sudden burst of powerful momentum from Boa Hancock, Sandersonia and Marigold couldn't help being shocked. The other 9 snake cadres are also preparing for the worst. This is the decision of Boa Hancock as the captain. They naturally had no choice but to follow to the death. Boom. At this moment, the powerful Conqueror's Hockey rushed out of Boa Hancock's tender body. Under the impact of Conqueror's Hockey fully opened by Boa Hancock, all the 9 snake warriors on the boat held their breath, their expressions full of nervousness and uneasiness. If it is an ordinary enemy, that's all. They must have been clapping and cheering. But the one standing in front of them now is Chi Yu. Even Conqueror's Hockey is bound to be of little use to such characters. Not only is it useless. Sandersonia, Marigold, and more cadres' minds. Memories about 4 years ago emerged clearly like a tide. They clearly remember. 4 years ago, Boa Hancock also tried to scare Chi Yu with Conqueror's Hockey. But what about the end result? Not good. Big bad. Quote. Sandersonia's reminding yell came to an abrupt end before it could be uttered. Next second, the hockey tsunami, which is more violent than the ocean, is coming. Stupid pirate empress, have you forgotten? Between you and me, on Conqueror's Hockey, there's a gap like that. Chi Yu grinned. Even Whitebeard, who has the title of the world's strongest man, is invincible. Conqueror's Hockey that reached the conqueror rank. And one of the passives triggered after encountering the impact of other people's conquerors, the majesty of the king. Now, start all of them. Boom. An aura so powerful that it shocked the world suddenly rushed out of Chi Yu's body. Press the quartet. Advertisement. Just for a moment. The aura originating from Chi Yu completely overwhelmed Boa Hancock's Conqueror's Hockey. Next second, an even more astonishing turn of events happened. Only the crackling sound of Ka Dong was heard. Sandersonia, Marigold and other 9 snake cadres saw it in horror. Under Chi Yu's seemingly materialized Conqueror's Hockey, cracks appeared on the fence of the perfume snake pirate ship, and then exploded. There are also dense cracks appearing everywhere on the deck and cabin. Conquerors, which was supposed to be just Kamui pressure, has actually affected reality. This is unheard of for them. Just like 4 years ago, conquerors who overwhelmed my sister just for a moment. This man's Conqueror's Hockey is really unusual. It's simply not a dimension of strength. Sandersonia cried out. How so? My sister's conquerors has obviously become stronger, why is the gap still so huge? It's like the difference between heaven and earth. Marigold also stared wide-eyed, his face full of disbelief. I've never seen such a terrifying Conqueror's Hockey, I feel like I'm going to stop breathing. Snake. 9 snake cadres such as Gentian, Purple Fan Flower, and Cosmos gasped for breath, and retreated unconsciously. As for the young 9 snake girls, they all raised their heads suddenly without even humming. As soon as his eyes rolled white, he completely lost all consciousness, and fell to the ground in a coma. It was only a few seconds before and after. On the deck of the perfume snake, a crowd of people fell down. In the end, it was able to barely support the technique of insufficient hands. After struggling for more than 10 seconds under the impact of Chi Yu's angry dragon-like conqueror's roar, Boa Hancock finally couldn't hold on any longer, and let out a soft cry. Her head jerked back. Stepping on high heels, Li Wang's footsteps are chaotic. He was about to fall to the ground. Salome, a boa constrictor covered in pink Madara spots, paraded right away. A seat was entrenched behind Boa Hancock, which prevented her from falling to the ground in embarrassment. How could this be? The conquerors is still so vulnerable. Boa Hancock leaned back against Salome, his white slender hands supported his smooth forehead, and he felt in a trance. Since becoming the 9 snake emperor, this is the second time she has felt this kind of frustration. And still fell on the same man a second time. I thought after 4 years of promotion, her Conqueror's Hockey has grown strong enough. But until now collide with Chi Yu's conquerors again. She finally found out the gap between himself and the real master of the sea. Her conquerors is in front of Chi Yu's overlord breath. The frail one is like a 3-year-old child. Your Conqueror's Hockey is still far behind, Miss Empress. Advertisement Chapter 88 Arrogant Confrontation. Crush the arrogance of the Empress. The golden light shines again. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Your conqueror's hockey is still far behind, Miss Empress. Chi Yu grinned. Listening to Chi Yu's teasing, the Empress couldn't help feeling annoyed. No, it's not time to admit defeat yet. Boa Hancock's stubborn soliloquy. She gritted her silver teeth lightly, and stood up again with all her strength. The head is still tilted backwards. But it wasn't because of being impacted by Chi Yu's conquerors. This is the signature posture of the proud Empress. Because of his excessive arrogance, his head was completely thrown back, and at the same time, he pointed at his opponent with his slender hands. You rude man, if you bow your head and apologize now, this concubine can forgive your rudeness, and even give you a chance to stay by my side. Boa Hancock spoke arrogantly. If other men heard Boa Hancock's words, they would have already been ecstatic. Not only did he not feel it was a shame, but he wanted to become the person who would serve the Empress personally, and it was impossible to refuse. Only, pretending to be arrogant in front of Chi Yu. 100 years too early. Because Chi Yu is the most arrogant man in the world. Even if it's not noon. 2:37 it is absolutely impossible for Chi Yu to be belittled wantonly by others. Compared to being conquered, Chi Yu prefers the feeling of conquering others. Especially a proud woman like Boa Hancock. The sense of accomplishment brought by it is completely incomparable to ordinary women. Miss Boa Hancock, who do you think I am? Chi Yu grinned and took a strong step forward. Boom. The entire perfume snake pirate ship was shaken violently. The two sea snakes pulling the boat were terrified. Mero mellow. Regarding Chi Yu's response, Boa Hancock was not surprised at all. Paramesh's sweet fruit ability activates. Boa Hancock made a heart shape with his white hands. A pink petrified light was released from her palm. Those with weak minds or those who are seduced by her beauty will be completely petrified under Boa Hancock's sweet ability. Facing Boa Hancock's incomprehensible sweet fruit ability, Chi Yu did not dodge or evade. Even though the ray of light fell on him, there was always a faint curve at the corner of his mouth. Boa Hancock also showed a confident smile. No one is immune to their own beauty. Boa Hancock has full confidence in this. That time 4 years ago. For some unexpected reasons. She didn't even have the ability to use the sweet fruit on Chi Yu. Advertisement. But this time, she is already prepared. Only, the development of the situation is still quite different from what she imagined. Her sweet fruit ability has actually failed. Unprecedented first encounter. How can that be? Looking at Chi Yu who didn't change at all under her mero mellow. Boa Hancock's beautiful eyes widened, and her beautiful face was full of extreme shock and disbelief. As a sweet fruit capable user, she knows the ability of this fruit better than anyone else. Could it be that this man has no idea about me at all? How is this possible? A concubine's beauty should be absolute. Boa Hancock's heart was suddenly in turmoil. Since getting the ability of sweet fruit. This was the first time she encountered such an unexpected situation. Same. Sandersonia, Marigold and other cadres. At this moment, each and every one of them also had absurd expressions like hell. Unbelievable. In this world, there are actually some men who are immune to the sweet fruit ability of Empress Hancock. Let alone a man. Even women. It is absolutely impossible to be indifferent to the beauty of my sister. Hee. Seeing the shock on the faces of Boa Hancock and others, Chi Yu couldn't help but chuckle. He is not an idiot like Luffy, and of course he would have some thoughts when facing a beautiful woman like the Empress. It's just an idea. It doesn't mean that Chi Yu, CJCC, will just be captured by her beauty. Those who met the Empress petrification, in the final analysis, are just not strong enough. As long as the spirit is strong enough, the sweet fruit ability will not have any effect. If you want to rely on ability, you must defeat a strong man at the level of the Emperor of the Sea. After all, it is too whimsical. Boa Hancock, who was hit by another setback, only felt his head rumbling. Her arrogance and everything about her seemed to be crushed at this moment. Amidst the coquettish voice, Boa Hancock fell down on Salome's seat again. She covered her forehead with her slender hands, lost in thought. Miss Hancock, sister, are you all right? Sandersonia and Marigold rushed forward anxiously to check the situation. I'm fine. Boa Hancock waved his hand feebly after being frustrated one after another. Next second, advertisement. A huge shadow suddenly enveloped. Wow you, what do you want to do? Stay away. He looked at Chi Yu who suddenly approached. Both Sandersonia and Marigold couldn't help but widen their eyes in shock, waiting for the battle. Ignored the intimidation of Boya sisters. Chi Yu came to Boa Hancock who was paralyzed and frustrated. His head drooped abruptly. Boa Hancock's pretty face was hurt by the strong wind. However, compared to the blowing wind, what made Boa Hancock more concerned was the masculine scent coming from his nostrils. There was also Chi Yu who was so close, less than 1 centimeter away from her. As if to get a little closer. Their lips were about to touch. This man, what exactly does he want to do to this old man? Boa Hancock thought nervously. Those gorgeous red lips couldn't stop trembling slightly. While my heart was throbbing, it also carried a trace of strange emotions that I had never seen before. Empress Hancock suddenly discovered, I seem to be heartbroken. To a man. In fact, this is not the first time. As early as 4 years ago. She's been through it once. It's just that the feeling at that time was far from clearer than it is now. What happened to the concubine? Empress Hancock subconsciously covered her restless heart with her slender hands. She closed her beautiful eyes, as if ready to accept her fate. However, the imaginary feeling of having her lips taken away did not appear. Chi Yu grinned, his head suddenly turned to the side of the Python Salome seat. In a flash before, he only felt that there seemed to be a golden light flashing in front of his eyes. Only then did he come forward, wanting to make sure. It turns out, Chi Yu was not mistaken. After defeating the proud pirate queen Boa Hancock one after another, the golden legend really shines again. Open black lens bracket ding close black lens bracket. When Chi Yu really saw the golden legend. Then the system beep sounds. Congratulations on obtaining S-level charm. Advertisement Chapter 89 Looting 9 Snakes. The Empress has fallen. The whole regiment fell. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. This is not bad. Take that too. And these, those, move them all to my boat. This moment. Perfume snake pirate ship. The extremely rare and abnormal scene happened again. Not long ago, the 9 snake pirates were bossing around and robbing merchant ships. Now, the counter is looted. Even being called to and fro by marauders. Give all the best of the spoils. In the history of the 9 snake pirates. This is still the first time ever. However about this. The girls of the fighting nation 9 snakes did not have the slightest resistance. Because it is the terrifying Sea Emperor who is robbing them now. Just one look almost overwhelmed their entire group. Even the captain they trusted and admired, the pirate empress, was overwhelmed by Chi Yu. Still stuck in autism right now. With his head bowed, Salome sat on the python seat. He kept silent about everything on board now, as if he had tacitly agreed. The fervent looting and transportation lasted for about half an hour. When the little sheep Meili's cabin and deck were almost filled with fine wine. Chi Yu's raid on the 9 snake pirates has just come to an end. Let's go here first this time. Chi Yu nodded in satisfaction. As he spoke, he jumped back to his own boat, picked up a jug of fine wine and drank happily. Girls of 9 snakes, see you next time. Say goodbye. Chi Yu steered the little sheep boat and went further and further away. Goodbye, Mr. Chi Yu. Bon voyage. Come again next time. The 9 snake girls, who are always tough, all said goodbye to Chi Yu with smiles on their faces. It was as if the one who sent away was not the big pirate who robbed them, but a certain distinguished guest. For a long time, until Chi Yu's boat went far away. The girls of 9 snakes finally looked away, and each of them shrunk their heads resentfully. Goodbye to hell, better never see you again. The Kadri Cosmos said. This is already the best result, at least we are still alive. Purple fan flower grows breath. Ha ha ha, speaking of which, have you noticed? As expected, that gentleman is very handsome. Daisy, the Kadri, spoke. Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't think much of it when I first started. I seem to be a little bit moved before. Me too. Mr. Chi Yu feels the same as Lord Hancock. Like a stone stirring up 1,000 waves. The girls of 9 snakes all chattered and started discussing. The reason for this advertisement. Naturally, it is inseparable from the golden legend that Chi Yu broke out from the Empress Hancock. S-class charm added. The current Chi Yu is equivalent to the male version of the sweet fruit ability user. The lethality to women is no less than that of Empress Hancock. No matter how female, the first time you see Chi Yu, you will have an unconditional liking for him. As for whether it can be overcome, it depends on whether the individual's spiritual will is strong enough. This is the real power of the S-class charm. At the moment, it's not just wine and goods that the 9 snake pirates plundered for Chi Yu. At the same time, the hearts of many 9 snake girls were also taken away. The 9 snakes had already fallen under Chi Yu's charm. Go. What are you still doing here? Hurry up and do your own thing. Boya Marigold couldn't help scolding. I can't stand the man whose friends' heated discussion just caused them a huge loss. My lord, that monster man has already left. We're all right. Sandersonia comforts the Empress Hancock, who is still depressed and autistic. Gone. What did you say? Has he gone? Until my sister reminded me. Only then did Boa Hancock belatedly learn the fact that Chi Yu had left. Immediately, that fair and beautiful face was occupied by anxiety. Why didn't you tell my concubine earlier? How could he just leave like that? No, you can't let him go. Empress Hancock spoke again and again. But my lord, that man is too dangerous. We can't hold it. Sandersonia rode. Yes, my lord. Just letting that man go is the best result. As for the lost goods, just go to the next location to loot them back. Marigold had panic on his face. I'm afraid Boa Hancock can't be angry. Prepare to find Chi Yu back and fight again. If it really angered the Emperor of the Sea, then their 9 snake pirates may really capsize here. No, Boa Hancock covered his heart with his slender hands. Tan mouth slightly opened, panting violently. Can't go. Don't go. Seeing the sheep boat gradually going away, Empress Hancock felt a twinge of pain in her heart. As a result, fine beads of sweat can't help but ooze from the smooth forehead. An unprecedented panic occupied her whole body and mind. Gradually, her fair and pretty face suddenly flushed. Like cooked prawns. At the same time, there is amazing heat. Ask for flowers, sister. Advertisement. Lord Hancock. looking at Boa Hancock, who suddenly looked painful and had a high fever. Sandersonia and the others couldn't help but panic. Sister, what happened to you? Could it be that man did something to my sister? Marigold yelled in rage. Quick, hurry up and catch up. Boa Hancock spoke weakly. Heighten the anchor and get ready to sail. Sandersonia was the first to react. If it was really that man who made some small move, he must not be allowed to leave. Definitely make him hand over the antidote. Marigold spoke firmly. Sha la la. Two highly poisonous snakes swallowed snake letters and moved forward at full speed. He chased after the sheep boat that turned into a small black spot in the distance. Just 3 minutes later, Hydra's perfume snake was the last 50 meters away from Chi Yu's sheep boat. Just at this time, strange things ensue. Boa Hancock, who was on the verge of death with a high fever a second ago, has calmed down now. The heat on the pretty face gradually subsided. When perfume snake reconnects with Mianyang Meili, Boa Hancock's complexion has completely recovered. What's the matter? Girls of 9 snakes, is there anything else? Does it mean that you are reluctant to leave me? Chi Yu asked with a smile. How come? Marigold glared. I was stopped by Sandersonia, for fear that she might say the wrong thing in a hurry. Mr. Chi Yu, my elder sister suddenly has a high fever. If you know the reason, help me. Sandersonia spoke earnestly. He didn't attack and blame Chi Yu immediately. Firstly, I was afraid of causing trouble. In case Empress Hancock's symptoms have nothing to do with Chi Yu, then they must pay the price for groundless accusations. Second, if it is what Chi Yu did, they were unable to coerce Chi Yu by force, so they could only make a humble request. Anyway, getting angry is not the best way to solve the problem. Please, Mr. Chi Yu, if you know the reason why my sister suddenly fell seriously ill, please let us know. Sandersonia begged again. Your sister suddenly became seriously ill. Collapsed. A strange look appeared on Chi Yu's face. Listen to these 2 key words. A picture appeared in his mind unconsciously. Full of sense of sight. Is it possible? What happened in the next second further confirmed Chi Yu's guess. Clatter. The familiar sound of high-heeled footsteps sounded. ... Big. Advertisement Chapter 90. It's impossible for my sister to be so well behaved. Khalifa in desperate situation. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Mary, Sonia, what are you doing? Empress Hancock came calmly and asked. A second ago, he was still leaning on Salome with a high fever. A sad appearance of being seriously ill and dying. This moment, Empress Hancock has fully recovered and recovered as before. There was no sign of serious illness on her pretty face. Some are just as beautiful and moving as ever. Ever since. The deck of the huge perfume snake was silent. Next second. Alas, the fierce and charming voices of the 9 snake girls came and went one after another. Lord Hancock, Master Snake Princess has recovered. Master Snake Princess has recovered. What exactly is going on? Sister, Sandersonia and Marigold strode forward. My lord, is your illness really cured? Ship doctor, what's going on here? Did you heal it? How on earth did you do it? Sandersonia kept asking questions. At the same time, I secretly rejoiced. Thanks to the impulsive younger sister who stopped her earlier. Otherwise, 687, now they really don't know how to end it. No, Lord Sonia, it's not me. 9 Snakes ship doctor waved his hands blankly and shook his head. Master Hancock, it's me who suddenly got better. Oh, this kind of thing, is real or fake? Shock and bewilderment were written all over the faces of the 9 snakes. After all, they had witnessed Empress Hancock's weakness and dying. That attitude of being seriously ill is definitely not a faux pas. Besides, Boa Hancock has absolutely no reason to pretend to be sick. What are you talking about, Sonia, Marie? My concubine has always been fine. Never been sick. Boa Hancock spoke calmly. With an inexplicable look on her pretty face, she looked at her younger sister and her partner. See, the puzzlement and astonishment on Sandersonia's face became even worse in an instant. Many people even fell into deep self-doubt. Could it be that they were wrong before? Ignoring the surprised gazes of his sisters, Boa Hancock came to the bow with long legs. Stay tuned to see Chi Yu on the deck of Sheep Meili below. Boa Hancock's fair and pretty face suddenly turned slightly red. The little heart was pounding like a deer. Cough cough. Boa Hancock coughed lightly. I'm sorry, my concubine's younger sisters caused you trouble earlier. She apologized earnestly. It doesn't matter. Chi Yu waved his hand nonchalantly. It would be great if nothing happened. In that case, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Chi Yu waved goodbye. Control the Sheep Meili to go far away again. But this time, it didn't take long for Meili, the sheep, to drive far. Empress Hancock, who was standing on the bow of the ship just a second ago. This moment is wilting again. I saw her humming softly. Advertisement. The delicate body staggered suddenly. Then he just fell to the ground. Sister, Sandersonia, who reacted belatedly, hurried forward to help. Not good. My sis has fallen again. What exactly is going on? It would be great if my mother-in-law was here. What about the mother-in-law? She must know what's going on. Everyone in the 9 snakes was in chaos. At a loss. Summer Lala. The 2 poisonous snakes looked at each other. Without waiting for an order, he went straight to the sheep boat. The distance between the 2 parties was shortened to 10 meters. Boa Hancock, who was seriously ill and comatose, seemed to have sensed something, and faintly opened his beautiful eyes again. In situ, full of blood, revived. Alas, this scene completely shocked everyone. But it didn't take long for them to be happy. After recovering for a few seconds, Boa Hancock hit the street for the third time. The poisonous snake quickly followed. So it resumed. If so several times later. Even a fool can guess it. Boa Hancock's abnormal symptoms are absolutely inseparable from the sheep boat. Could it be possible that my lord's sister has a disease that will kill you if you stay away from that sheep boat? Marigold spoke with a cute face. Stop talking stupid. How could there be such an outrageous illness? Sandersonia rode. Master Sonia, what shall we do next? The Kadri Zifanhua asked puzzledly. Until the real reason is found out, let's follow it for the time being. Sandersonia nodded. The vast sea, Mianyang Meili and Perfume Snake are one after the other. Facing the setting sun and leaving this rich sea area. Miss Empress, I know you hate me. But it's almost enough to send it here. Chi Yu turned his head, smiled and looked at Empress Hancock who was peeking at him. Don't say stupid things. Boa Hancock, who has always been strong, proud, and domineering, looks like a shy little girl at this moment, dodging her eyes in panic. The concubine did not follow you. There is no silver 300 taels here. Do not call yourself. Oh, Chi Yu narrowed his eyes slightly. Is this sea yours? I just happen to have the same destination as you. Boa Hancock opened his beautiful eyes wide, and spoke with a stiff mouth. That's right, that's it. Chi Yu nodded knowingly, and immediately stopped the boat. Then please leave, Miss Empress. Chi Yu made a gesture of please. Concubine. The proud Empress Hancock suddenly faltered. She pursed her red lips, looking down at the big murderer. Yuzu kicked restlessly. Ha ha ha. Chi Yu smiled generously. The teasing of this easy-to-handle Empress has come to an end. If you want to follow, just follow. It's just that if something happens next, don't look for me. Chi Yu reminded. Yes, advertisement. Empress Hancock's beautiful eyes were shining brightly, and she responded obediently with joy. Today's sister, you really have a big problem. Sandersonia solemnly opened her mouth. Yeah, it's impossible for my elder sister to be so well behaved. Marigold nodded sympathetically. But that's all. They really don't know what to do. For the time being, I can only take one step at a time, and follow. 2 days later, the sheep Meili and the perfume snake arrived at a unique large island one after the other. Paradise Island. This is a famous resort island on the Grand Line. Every year, countless wealthy businessmen and nobles from all over the world come here for vacation. Even the world's noble celestial dragons visit from time to time. Certainly, every time the celestial dragons come, it is a disaster for this resort island. The reason why Chi Yu came to this island. Naturally, from Shank's contact. The world government has made big moves on the island. A lot of warships and world government ships were sent. This island may be the battleground between the Whitebeard Crusade and the Blackbeard Pirates. So here comes Chi Yu. Far away, haven't landed on the island yet. That is, you can see several eye-catching large warships moored in the port of the resort island. Among them, the flag of the world government is hoisted on the mast of a Lionhead warship. Only, Chi Yu glanced over the port. The brows could not help but wrinkle slightly. That guy Shank's information is unreliable. Chi Yu whispered to himself. Indeed, marine and world government warships are moored here. But he didn't see the prominent Whitebeard logo. After all, the Whitebeard pirates did a great job this time. Half of the captains under his command are dispatched. Even mobilized several affiliated pirate groups under its banner. Such a large number of people. If something is really done, the island will certainly not be as calm as it is now. But, it wasn't exactly peaceful. Observation Hockey Course 4.4 slightly swept. Chi Yu sensed something vague. At this time, Chi Yu's knowledgeable look seemed to have caught something. He suddenly turned his head to look at the corner of the coast not far away. The air suddenly split. To be more precise, it was pushed open like a door. A dull-looking man with a horned hairstyle pushed a blonde woman out of the air door. Khalifa, run, even if it's just you. Definitely live. After saying that, the dull man with horns closed the air door and disappeared. The blonde woman burst into tears. Only, not long. Ah, I found it. It's here. A team of heavily armed world government black suits appeared. Catch her quickly. She is a female slave handpicked by Lord Saros. A group of men in black suits approached the helpless blonde woman with malicious intentions. At this time, boom, the earth suddenly trembled. It's all here, I'm going to have some fun on this island for the time being. Advertisement Chapter 91 Light in Despair. Terrified CP0. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Grand Line Resort. Paradise Island. The tragic pursuit is in progress. The hunted person is none other than CP9 who was defeated by Straw Hat Crew in the Ennie's Lobby incident. This moment, Paradise Island coast. A blonde girl was surrounded by dozens of men in black suits from the world government. Bluno, the dull door fruit ability user, thinks he sent his partner Khalifa, who is being targeted, to a safe area. As everyone knows, now this entire Paradise Island is under the control of the world government. The phone bugs all over the island fully exposed the location information of everyone in CP9. It's not so much a hunt. A more precise description. What's going on this island right now is a game of cat and mouse. The pursuers of world government didn't intend to put CP9 to death immediately. Let the people of CP9 see hope, and then give them despair. This goes back and forth, tormenting their spirits. And get great pleasure out of it. Counteract the pain of bereavement. This is the real purpose of the senior government officials who are now directing operations on the island. 29. 100,000 100,000. What a stupid woman. This year's CP9 is really bad. Clatter. Footsteps sounded. One was covered in a large white robe. The tall man with a grimace mask on his face separated from the crowd and approached slowly. Humph. Khalifa's face was frosty, and he hummed softly. It's just a reserve for CP0. If it wasn't for Lu Chi who was seriously injured, you are no match for Lu Chi at all. Lu Chi is the strongest CP9 has been in the past 800 years. Khalifa snapped back. Yo yo yo, now that things are going on, you still dare to sharp your teeth. I just don't know if you can still be so stubborn after you will be in front of Saint Saros and branded with the imprint of the flying hoof of the sky dragon. The opening of CP0's masked male yin test. Heard the words. Khalifa's face suddenly turned pale. Of course she is aware of the fact that she was spotted by celestial dragons. Same. For what it would be like to be a slave to the celestial dragons. She also knows best. What awaits her must be a situation that is worse than death. Khalifa's eyes swept over the men who had malicious intentions at noon. She knows. I am probably doomed today. After persisting for so long under the protection of his companions, he could not escape the clutches of the celestial dragons. Think of what it would be like to be a slave to the celestial dragons. A look of determination flashed across Khalifa's pretty face. Rather than being a plaything of the celestial dragons in humiliation. It would be better to fight to the death here. Advertisement. At least a few people should be pulled to back up before death. Khalifa took a deep breath and forced herself to stand up. Yo yo yo, are you still planning to resist? It's clearly the end of the battle. However, a powerful woman like you is the type that Saros Saint Lord likes the most. The favorite thing of Saint Saros is to teach a woman like you to be a shepherd dog. The expression under the mask of the tall man in the reserve CP gradually became sick. Do it, he calmly waved the order. More than a dozen government thugs in black suits approached in unison. It is about to launch a thunder strike and arrest Khalifa in an instant. Feel the air lock of the black suits. Khalifa's heart sank. Had it been her uninjured prime. After years of training to become a Superman, he has the confidence to solve everyone in the field. But right now, if you really fight, maybe she didn't have the chance to die together at all. In a blink of an eye, he will be captured, and there is no chance of suicide. It's better now. Just when Khalifa gave birth to this idea in despair. Boom. There was a loud bang. The land on the coast was suddenly shaken violently. A powerful momentum spread out. In an instant, it enveloped the entire coast. All the big hands in black suits of the world government were taken aback and horrified. Who is it? The tall CP0 reserve man suddenly turned his head. His eyes locked on the thick smoke not far away, looking at the gully that opened the earth. Feel the pressure from the flying dust. He is like an enemy. I just feel that every cell in my body is on alert. Although I have never seen the face of the visitor. But that powerful aura alone made him fear and dread from the bottom of his heart. Intuition told him, a monster, a scourge, coming. Who are you? CP0 the tall masked man asked again. He stood on tiptoe. You are ready to shave and run with the 6 styles at any time. Before Shanks comes with definite information. For the time being, I'll have some fun on this island first. Finally, a thick and magnetic voice came out from the smoke and dust. Listen for a key word in it. The pupils of both eyes of the man with the CP0 mask suddenly constricted. Thanks, Redhead Shanks. 4 Emperor's Red Hair Pirates. Advertisement. Could it be that? For a moment. He had already guessed part of it. A terrible thought came to mind. During this time period, among the 4 Emperor's Red Hair Pirates, there is only one member staying in the park. That's the Red Hair Pirates vice captain who descended on the Ennie's lobby not long ago to defeat Admiral and scare Buster Call. What? Ah, seeing the truth and knowing the possible identity of the visitor, the tall man in the grimace mask CP0 screamed. Escape. It was the only thought on his mind. Almost without the slightest hesitation. He stomped on the ground dozens of times. 6 style shaving, urged ultimate. However, he should have rushed out of 100 meters in an instant. In the next second, he fell to the ground in embarrassment. At this moment, his body doesn't listen to him at all. 993's feet, which could have stepped on the ground dozens of times in an instant, were as heavy as lead, making it difficult to even walk. Despair. Amidst the smoke and dust, Chi-Yu took a step forward. A wave of air was brought up to disperse the flying sun. Appear in the sight of the crowd. When inner guesses come true. When he watched the ultimate terrifying man appear. The world government thugs headed by the CP0 masked man feel like they are shaking the river and the sea. All the faces were filled with horror like a ghost. His lips opened and closed, but he was so frightened that he couldn't even utter a word. Hateful, red hair pirates, arrogant Chi-Yu. Why are you here? The man in the CPO mask resisted the invisible pressure and stood up forcefully, gritting his teeth and staring at Chi-Yu. Who allowed you to stand up? Chi-Yu stopped drinking. Boom. Somewhere intangible important multiplied. Boom. Under the unbearable pressure, CP0 kneeled heavily on the ground. Caw caw caw. This was followed by the sound of bones breaking in succession. Ah ah ah. Heart-piercing screams followed. The expression under the CP0 masked man's mask was distorted, and blood flowed from his 7 orifices. The tall body trembled uncontrollably due to the heavy pressure and fear. Ignored the wailing of the CP0 masked man. Chi Yu stepped forward directly. Finally stood in front of Khalifa. Yo, we meet again. Miss Secretary. Advertisement Chapter 92 Khalifa's Awakening. The Queen was jealous and got Conqueror's upgrade. Advertisement. Meet you again, Miss Secretary. Chi Yu spoke calmly, with a gentle smile on his face. Oh, of course not after the Ennies Lobby incident. After all the Ennies Lobby incident, Khalifa has already been defeated and stunned by Nami. The, again, in Chi Yu's words refers to 4 years ago. To this, Khalifa is also well aware. Looking at the tall man who suddenly appeared in front of him like a god. Khalifa couldn't help being in a trance for a while. The memory of 4 years ago is gradually clear. That year was the second year they came to the water capital, undercover Ace Bagu, to seize the blueprint of Pluton. As she got her wish to become Ace Bagu's secretary, she received a horrible guest one day. It is Chi Yu. At that time, Chi Yu was not yet the deputy captain of Red Hair Pirates. But in this sea, he has already achieved a great reputation. However, compared to Chi Yu's strength and prestige, what made Khalifa even more terrified was that Chi Yu seemed to have an insight into their identities. Looking at her, Kaku and Lu Chi always have deep meaning in their eyes. He even expressed his desire to take them out to sea and join the Red Hair Pirates. Khalifa, who was tortured at that time, couldn't sleep well at night. Until later, after the ship was built, Chi Yu was sent away. Khalifa was finally completely relieved. Self-comfort is probably an illusion. Only, you really know it. Our identity. Khalifa spoke, with a slight tremor in his voice. Now is not the time to worry about this. What I said 4 years ago is still valid now. How about it? Do you want to be my partner? Miss Secretary. Chi Yu grinned. This kind of thing, it's too cunning to say such things at this time. Khalifa pursed her lips, and then changed the topic. I want to join. Khalifa looked determined, without hesitation. To take a P is to accept the brainwashing training of the world government in his hometown and become a ruthless CP9 Superman. Khalifa's loyalty to the world government is beyond doubt. Certainly, that was before. The first time she heard Chi Yu's invitation 4 years ago, she sternly refused on the spot. It's just that it's different now. They have worked so hard for the world government and done countless dirty deeds. It just failed once. Advertisement. He was hunted down mercilessly by the world government. It was even the same Spandine who carried out the mission. Obviously Spandam's death had nothing to do with them. However, Spandane put all the blame on them. Used them as a tool to vent and bully wantonly. This anger needs to be vented. After being betrayed by the world government. They, at least Khalifa herself, can no longer be loyal to the world government. At this critical juncture, Chi Yu who appeared in front of her again seemed to be a messenger sent by God to save her. Join Chi Yu and become his subordinate. It is undoubtedly 1,000 times, 10,000 times better than falling into the hands of celestial dragons. Choose without hesitation. Mr. Chi Yu, please allow me to be your subordinate. From now on, Khalifa is willing to serve you and look forward to you. Khalifa took a deep breath, knelt down in front of Chi Yu on one knee, and swore loyalty. Wise choice. Chi Yu nodded in satisfaction. Then what should be done next, you know? Yes. Khalifa stood up, and glanced indifferently over the surrounding men in black suits, with a murderous intent. She who has already lost all expectations for the world government, naturally she will not show any mercy. Not to mention that these guys played and humiliated them recklessly not long ago. Tempest kick. Khalifa took a deep breath. The long legs wrapped in the slightly torn haywire were kicked out violently. A blue tempest kick air blade pierced through the air. He mercilessly kicked a man in a black suit who was unable to move under Chi Yu's pressure flying more than 10 meters away. Almost disemboweled. Blood mixed with others flowed out. It's already impossible to survive. Watching this horrifying scene. The remaining government thugs in black suits are all terrified ghosts. The positions of hunter and prey are reversed. Under the stimulation of extreme horror. Part of the black suit overcomes Chi Yu's oppressive field built with spirit and murderous intent. Regaining control of the body, scattered and fled. Don't try to escape. Khalifa felt anxious. With long legs, he is about to chase. However, the exhaustion and injuries of the past few days emerged. Did not wait to chase a few steps. Khalifa staggered violently. Then he crashed straight into Chi Yu's arms. Miss Secretary, can I understand that this is you sending hugs on your own initiative? Chi Yu asked back with a smile. Several red clouds flew over Khalifa's pale face. If you change to do before. Advertisement. With her character, she must step on the opponent's face with a strong foot. However, like a queen, Haki said, you are sexually harassing. Just for now. In front of him was the new chief who had just sworn allegiance to him. Besides, it was indeed because she didn't stand firm and bumped into it on her own initiative. Yes, right. Khalifa spoke softly. The words did not come out. Suddenly, a powerful Kamui pressure suddenly descended and enveloped the audience. Under the pressure of this terrifying spirit Kamui, the thugs in black suits of the world government all gave a complete meal as they fled. Immediately afterwards, all of them rolled their eyes white, and fell to the ground in a powerless coma. What the hell is? Seeing this weird scene, Khalifa was shocked to the extreme. She looked at Chi Yu in front of her. This Kamui pressure was not caused by Chi Yu. Khalifa poked out half of her head and looked at the shore behind Chi Yu. A tall beauty with peerless beauty, so beautiful that even she can't help but feel ashamed, appeared in her sight. That person is Boa Hancock, Khalifa exclaimed in shock. As an excellent agent of CP9, Khalifa naturally recognizes the pirate empress. The four eyes are facing each other. When you feel the cold meaning from the eyes of the empress. Khalifa's little face turned pale suddenly. She was so frightened that she quickly retracted her little head, hiding in Chi Yu's arms and shivering. It's just hockey from conquerors, it scares you. As my subordinate, you are far from qualified now, Khalifa. Chi Yu smiled. I'm sorry, Khalifa apologized with a clear face. Compared to the fine Kamui pressure of conquerors hockey. What scares Khalifa even more is the way the pirate queen looked at her earlier. That look seemed to eat her up. It was as if he had done something unforgivable to the empress. Mingming said that he only met her for the first time today. Khalifa pouted a little aggrieved. Facing the powerful pirate empress, even in her heyday, she has absolutely no chance of winning. Although I don't know the reason why the empress is hostile to her. But for now, let's hide in the safest place, Chi Yu's arms. Khalifa thought so. It's just that she doesn't know it. It was her act of sticking to Chi Yu that made the pirate empress Boa Hancock even more furious. Boom. Conqueror's hockey's shock intensified. After witnessing a beloved man having affairs with other women. Boa Hancock's conqueror's hockey is actually a breakthrough upgrade. To a higher level. Advertisement Chapter 93 Empress. Obviously I came first. Take CP9 under your command. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Boom. A more turbulent conqueror's coercion descended than the first time. Covering a radius of hundreds of meters. Even one's own 9 snake pirates were accidentally affected. Under the impact of Boa Hancock's conquerors to a higher level. Many 9 snake girls rolled their eyes and fell into a coma on the spot. Sister. Master's conquerors is stronger. Marigold's eyes widened in surprise. Now is not the time to pay attention to this. The important thing is why my sis is suddenly angry. Sandersonia exclaimed, and quickly stepped forward. How dare, that woman is really brave. How dare you cuddle with my concubine Lord Chi Yu in front of my concubine's face. This kind of thing is absolutely not allowed. Empress Hancock whispered softly as if in a daze. Quote. Just in time to come close, the expression on Sandersonia's face froze when she heard her whisper. Question mark. What's the situation? That woman, do you mean the person in Mr. Chi Yu's arms now? When did my elder sister have a holiday with her? And Chi Yu, my lord. Sister, what happened to you? Sandersonia's face was full of surprise. I couldn't believe my ears. She is the proudest sister in her family. You actually call other people, my lord 980. Could it be that my sister's abnormality in the past 2 days is because she likes? When the doubts that had troubled her for many days were resolved. Sandersonia wasn't feeling relieved at the moment. Then what occupied her whole body and mind was extreme shock and disbelief. My sister, Pirate Queen, I actually have a sweetheart. And also a sea emperor. If this spreads, it will definitely shake the entire sea. Just when Sandersonia was stunned by it, the Pirate Queen Boa Hancock strode forward with her long legs under the high fork Cheongsam, stepping forward aggressively. Shichibukai, One Piece, the only CP0 masked man on the world government side who was still awake was suddenly overjoyed. Boa Hancock, you came just in time. I am sending you an order on behalf of the world government, now immediately assist the government, kill. The man in the CPO mask didn't finish talking. A jade foot in a high-heeled shoe suddenly enlarged in his pupils. Without waiting for him to react. Advertisement. Perfume femur. Empress Hancock kicked him on the head. The petrification attack effect of sweet fruit activates. Turn his head into a stone head. Then it exploded under the violent CJBE kick. If you want to command a concubine, you are far from qualified. Boa Hancock said coldly. It's just that the CP0 masked man whose head was blown apart by petrochemicals obviously has no chance to regret and beg for mercy. I witnessed with my own eyes that a powerful CP0 reserve was trampled by the Empress. Khalifa's heart was in turmoil. Although I don't know where the hostility of the Pirate Queen comes from. But if he was really kicked by that jade foot, definitely will crack. Khalifa looked panicked. However, the more panicked he hugged Chi Yu. The sight from the Pirate Empress got worse. Seeing that the two women are about to contact. All right, that's it. Chi Yu finally spoke and was no longer silent. The index fingers of his left and right hands rested on Khalifa's and Hancock's smooth foreheads, separating them and opening the bottle. Miss Empress, thank you for helping to deal with these miscellaneous fish. It's just that Khalifa here will be my secretary from now on. Please don't scare her. Chi Yu smiled. Well, Boa Hancock's red lips pursed subconsciously. There was a trace of grievance on the beautiful pretty face. Can't accept it? Chi Yu asked. Of course not acceptable. Obviously I came first, and you never called my concubine by my name. The grievance and resentment on Boa Hancock's face were even worse. It's just these words, she can only think about them in her heart now. But dare not say it. Master Chi Yu and the Pirate Empress. Khalifa looked at Chi Yu, and then at One Piece. For a moment. She seemed to understand something. Could it be that Boa Hancock was hostile to her? It's because I saw the relationship between her and Chi Yu. The pirate empress, who was as arrogant and glamorous as an iceberg, actually fell in love with a man. Khalifa's pretty face was already full of shock and surprise. Wrong. She seemed to think of something again. Advertisement. Now is not the time to talk about that. While I was dawdling, Lu Chi, everyone is still in deep danger. Khalifa was in a hurry. Regardless of the hostility of the pirate empress. Khalifa stepped forward bravely and hugged her arms. Master Chi Yu, please save us. After the Ennie's lobby incident, we were rescued by Bluno with the door fruit, and then we were chased and killed by Marine and world government all the way. After traveling to many places, we were finally forced to this island. Although we have already left Marine behind, it is the government's CPO organization that is chasing us this time, led by Spandam's father, Spandine. Because of the tragic death of Spandam. Having said that, Khalifa peeked at Chi Yu weakly. Go on. Chi Yu signaled. Spanda said nicely, saying that as long as we can pass this trial, we can return to the government and even become a member of CP0. But because of Spandam's death, he has always held a grudge against us, and never thought about giving us a way out. Quote. I was going to act together with Bluno and Jabra, but Spandane sent a lot of killers, we couldn't fight, Jabra tried his best to block it, so that Bluno had a chance to bring me rain with the fruit of the door. Having said that, Khalifa bowed his head in despair. His expression was filled with worry. Oh, in other words, because I killed Spandam, you were hunted down. Chi Yu raised his eyebrows. No, don't get me wrong, Master Chi Yu. Khalifa doesn't mean that. Khalifa waved his hands quickly. Only, if possible, Master Chi Yu, please save them. Khalifa stared at Chi Yu beggingly. Then, can you guarantee that they will submit to my command just like you? Chi Yu asked. This. Khalifa was silent. She can't be the master of this kind of thing by herself. Regardless of the others, at least according to Lucci. Khalifa knew that he would never surrender easily to the pirates. So she really can't make any guarantees. After all, the price of deceiving a sea emperor may be their lives. Well, forget it. You can't find anything if you ask them, it's better to ask them directly. Chi Yu smiled. Real. Khalifa's eyes lit up immediately after understanding the meaning of Chi Yu's words. But as I said before, if I intervene, no matter what other people think, without my permission, there is no way to leave. Okay. Khalifa nodded heavily, expressing understanding. For them, being able to survive right now is the most important thing. Then let's get started. Advertisement Chapter 94 Khalifa's father. CP9 vs CP0. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Paradise Island, dense forest full of autumn. A cold-looking middle-aged man wearing dark red sunglasses and a killer in a black suit walked quietly in the shade of the trees. His name is Lasky, one of the members of CP9 20 years ago. Now he is Spandine's bodyguard. He is also Khalifa's father. Bluno, the door-to-door fruit ability user, your ability is very special, and your superiors specifically ordered you to take it back. Give up resistance now, obediently follow me back. Lasky stared indifferently at the dull-horned man not far away who almost understood. Mr. Lasky, I remember you are Khalifa's father. Bluno spoke. Lasky's ruthless face changed slightly, but soon returned to its original state. So what? Khalifa is now a traitor to the world government just like you. I will catch her with my own hands. Lasky said. And then, how about handing Khalifa to the celestial dragons on the island? After all these years in the world government, you should know it best. If Khalifa falls into the hands of the celestial dragons, what a disastrous result it will suffer. Bluno opened his mouth painstakingly, trying to wake up Lasky's cold heart. Everything is fine with him. At least let Lasky, the father, be able to protect Khalifa. If you really care about and love your daughter. Enough. While Lasky stopped drinking, his figure suddenly disappeared. The reappearance is already in front of Bluno. Iron body. Steel. Bluno's pupils shrank suddenly, and he attacked with iron body without hesitation. Lashina is even more terrifying than a pistol, and it is enough to shoot out with electricity from fingers that can pierce gold cracks. Finger pistol. One finger dropped. Bluno's proud iron body broke again. In front of a veteran Superman like Lasky. A junior like him is still far behind. Boom. There was a loud bang. Bluno's figure flew upside down and broke a towering tree. Blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth, gurgling. His vision gradually blurred. It seems that I can only stop here. Bluno whispered feebly. Suddenly, he just felt his eyes flicker. A familiar figure suddenly appeared in his sight. That's Khalifa. Khalifa, why are you coming back? Bluno yelled with red eyes, as if returning to the light. Bluno, just shut up and watch, how can I leave you alone? Advertisement. It's troublesome to explain now, but it's all right now. Everyone will be safe and sound. Khalifa said seriously. Bluno froze for a moment. His dull gaze crossed Khalifa and landed on the tall figure in front of him. At the same time, Lasky's gaze was also fixed on Chi Yu beside his daughter. It turned out to be you. Red hair pirates, the uncrowned. The moment he recognized Chi Yu. Recognizing the moment when a sea emperor appeared in front of his eyes. The expression on Lasky's face can no longer be described simply as shock and horror. Fear and death lingered in his heart, and he couldn't even utter a complete sentence. On the other hand, the moment Chi-Yu saw Lasky, Chi-Yu also felt a little familiar for no reason. After thinking about it, he finally remembered his identity. It was the CP9 member who followed Spandine to Ohara 20 years ago. If it was before, Chi-Yu would have said nothing, just slap him and turn him into a pile of minced meat. It's just that now it's time to slow down. Dad. Khalifa called softly, her small face looked complex and gloomy. Khalifa. Lasky, who was in extreme fear, couldn't help but screamed when he saw Khalifa walking behind Chi-Yu. Khalifa, why are you with this man? Do you know who he is? Are you really going to betray the government? Lasky yelled again and again in horror. Father, we should be the ones who were betrayed. You should know best what Spandine is doing. And the celestial dragons. Khalifa pursed her lips, and opened her mouth quietly. Or are you even going to give me to the celestial dragons, Dad? Quote. Lasky's face turned blue and white. In short, you CP9 are all traitors to the government now, it is a shame to us, and so are you. The order of the world government is absolute. In front of his daughter, Lasky seemed to have forgotten the fear of being dominated by Chi-Yu's murderous aura, and raised his hand to strike. For the slap from his father, Khalifa didn't mean to dodge at all. Just like before, I closed my eyes and prepared to bear it. However, until a long time passed, that slap never fell. Now Khalifa is covered by me. I want to hit her, did you ask me? Chi-Yu blocked Hockey's opening in front of Khalifa. His right hand firmly clasped Lasky's wrist like a pair of pliers. The heavy force almost crushed his wrist. Under Chi-Yu's overwhelming power, Lasky's face gradually became grim due to the pain. Master Chi-Yu, he is my father. Can you not kill him? Khalifa tugged at Chi-Yu's clothes, opening her mouth weakly. Makes sense. Advertisement. Chi-Yu nodded, and with a flick of his hand, Lasky flew out, breaking several big trees, and finally fell unconscious among the ruins. Ask for flowers. The arrogance of the red hair pirates. Really, Khalifa, did you sacrifice yourself to make a deal with this man? There was a bitter arc on Bluno's face, relying on the sacrifice of his companions to survive. Ashamed to say, at this moment, he couldn't help but feel happy in his heart. The southeastern region of Paradise Island. The border river between Spring Island and Summer Island. A team of people stands on each bank of the river. Boom. There was thunder in the sky. Then, accompanied by a clatter, a thunderstorm arrived as expected. Even in the rainstorm, people on both sides of the river still did not move. Lu Chi, your injuries are too serious, let me deal with them temporarily. Kaku, with a square nose, took a deep breath and transformed himself. 0. Ka. The ground cracked beneath his feet, and Zone Niunyu fruit giraffe form launched. Hey, I have to do my best. Fukuro, you should take a good rest first. With long pink hair reaching the ground and dressed like a kabuki actor, Yukita took a step forward. Chibaba, cough. Otonashi Fukuro coughed violently twice, his face pale and bloodless. He knew that it would be best if he could not hold back his partners. It's okay, I can still fight my ears. The white pigeon Hadley fluttered its wings, flew up from Lu Chi's shoulders, and spoke instead of him. Hey, what a group of tenacious people, but this just happens to let us have more fun. On the other side of the river, the man covered in white robes smiled sinisterly. Killing you and taking off your heads, we can be promoted from reserve to full member of CP0, it's really easy. Another person spoke. This pigeon was raised by that trash of Lu Chi. It looks delicious, but the amount is too small, but it can still be counted as a human head. No. 5, number 8, number 9, don't talk nonsense with them, quickly take down these guys, no points for heads. The last person to speak. Hey, let's get started. Number 5 let out a smirk. Kyla. The next moment, the white robes and masks on the CP0 reserve team exploded. A large black ant, a green mantis with sharp-bladed hands. In addition, there was a large mosquito with transparent wings on its back and a ferocious blood-sucking mouthpart, which appeared in the sight of the three of Lu Chi. This is where animals collide with animals. Or it can be said that it is the confrontation between mammals and insects. Dry. Advertisement Chapter 95 Bloody Battle Among Animals. Eraser Fruit Ability. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Paradise Island, the junction of spring and summer. CP9 800 years strongest Rob Lucci. Kaku the giraffe with a strength of 2002. The battle between the Kumadori trio and the CP0 reserve trio also started. On one side are leopards, giraffes and lions. On the other side are ants, praying mantises and mosquitoes. This is a contest between mammals and insects. Gentlemen, come on. Pigeon Hadley, who was wearing a tie, circled around to cheer for Lu Chi and the three of them like a cheerleading squad. Yeah, old man is really underestimated. Kaku raised his hand to wipe off the bloodline on his face, and a powerful aura rose up and down his body. Meet the number 8 blood-sucking mosquito in the CP0 reserve. Tempest Kick White Thunder. A light flashed across Kaku's eyes. Lifting his hind legs abruptly, he swept out a dazzling, Chilu San, pure white air blade, flying towards the blood-sucking mosquito man in midair. Swish swish. The blood-sucking mosquito moved quickly twice in a row, dodging this Tempest Kick. It looks calm on the outside, but the inside is already in a cold sweat. With just one kick, Kaku's strength has exceeded his expectations. He was able to successfully absorb Kaku's blood before because Kaku was distracted. Tempest kick, line. Tempest kick. Dragon break. Tempest kick. Heilin Shigu. Kaku, who got serious, was a lore with one shot, and he didn't have half a point left. Among CP9, Kaku's power value is 2200, second only to Lu Qi. Although Lu Qi is known as the master of the 6 styles. But in the use and development of the Tempest kick style, even Lu Qi is not as good as Kaku. Kaku perfectly combines his own abilities with Tempest kick to create a variety of powerful tricks. At this time, once it was cast, the blades flew all over the sky. At the end, Kaku in the shape of a giraffe spun around. The all-round Tempest kick slashes towards the blood-sucking mosquito man in midair. Even though the vampire mosquito can constantly shift shape and position, it cannot completely dodge Kaku's Tempest kick. In the end, unfortunately, he was hit head-on by the powerful Tempest kick's Tuan. Advertisement. In an instant, the iron body was shattered. If he hadn't used secret techniques to release his strength in time, this kick alone would have made him incapacitated. Damn it, this kind of Dao power is definitely more than 2000, higher than mine. But if I can get close, my blood-sucking ability can be brought into full play. The blood-sucking mosquito man coughed up a mouthful of blood and let out a low growl unwillingly. The other side. The battle between Kumadori and No. 9 praying mantis fruit ability is also unfolding. Return of life. Hair binding technique. In the state of life return, he can skillfully control every part of the body. Even the hair is the same. At this time, his long pink hair that reached the ground was like a demon dancing wildly, entwining towards the number 9 mantis man. However, the shape of the mantis fruit of Chongchong has 2 characteristics. One is fast. The speed of snuggling hair can't keep up with the speed of the other party. Another feature is still fast. Knife fast. Fast. Shua Shua. Number 9 waved 2 sickle-like forelimbs, constantly chopping off the snuggled hair. Soon there was a pile of long pink hair on the ground. If it weren't for the fact that he could use the energy of other parts of his body to promote hair growth, he might be bald now. It's just that the continuous extraction of energy from the body also had a serious impact on him. The originally burly figure shriveled at a speed visible to the naked eye. But his persistence was not in vain. After a long pursuit, he finally found a chance to catch the mantis number 9 with his hair. Life returns. Lion finger pistol. The strands of hair formed into fingers, falling towards the mantis man like raindrops. In an instant, blood splattered everywhere. It's really useless guy, let's look at me. The big black ant walked towards Lu Qi confidently with high spirits. Ha 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 ha, I'm an ant-man who ate Zone's fruit. An ordinary ant can lift more than 400 times its own body weight. And I was originally a Superman with over 1,000 strengths. How strong is my power? I'll let you experience it right away, Rob Lu Qi. Ant-Man laughed wildly. Ant punch. Advertisement. Ant-Man walked around behind Lu Qi abruptly, and landed a heavy punch on Lu Qi's back. Iron body empty wood. Lu Qi's unique iron body counterattack technique, while blocking the opponent. It also transmitted the impact intact to Ant-Man's fist. Whew. Ant-Man was wounded by his own strength, the blood vessels on his fist burst, blood sprayed, and one fist was almost useless. From the very beginning, Lu Qi went all out and didn't hold back anything. Maximize your own strength within the controllable range. The black ant, who was still extremely proud before, let out a scream like killing a pig. But what scares him even more is yet to come. 6 styles 6 king gun. Even though the opponent was much weaker than him, Lu Qi still used his strongest trick directly. Only the masters of the 6 styles can be integrated into one. The 6 styles landed firmly on the body of the black ant. With just one blow, the black ant fell to the ground in pain. I just felt that my body was about to disintegrate under Lu Qi's punch, and I couldn't lift the slightest strength anymore, and my vision gradually dimmed. Pop. Applause. As expected of Rob Lu Qi, the strongest CP9 in the past 800 years, he is really amazing, so let me play next. The last person who had been standing across the river finally moved. Swish. In an instant, the figure of reserve number 7 disappeared, and 3.7 appeared next to Lu Qi. The expression on Lu Qi's face was still indifferent, even though he was seriously injured, he remained as motionless as a mountain. A powerful finger pistol jabs towards the number 7 who appears. Are you hooked? Number 7's face under the mask had a successful smile, and his right hand lightly brushed Lu Qi's finger pistol. The next moment, something terrifying happened. Lu Qi's right hand below the wrist disappeared out of thin air. Lu Qi. Seeing Lu Qi suddenly broken his hand, Kaku and Nugget both cried out. Even Lu Qi himself was unavoidably surprised at this moment. Ha 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 ha, how is it? It's unbelievable, this is my ability. Number 7 laughed triumphantly. Eliminate all the evil in the world, this is my ability, the power area of the elimination fruit. Advertisement Chapter 96 Rob Lu Qi shocked. Spandane is terrified. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Lu Qi. Seeing Rob Lu Qi's disappearing right hand, Nugget and Kaku couldn't help but yelled out in horror. Don't worry, I'm fine. After the initial shock, Lu Qi regained his usual composure, without the slightest wavering. What's going on here? There's no blood, it doesn't look like it's broken. Kumadori shook his head and asked in a no-like tone. Although I can't see my right hand now, I can feel that it's still there. It's not broken or gone, but I can't use it anymore. Lu Qi frowned and described. In short, everyone, be careful not to be touched by that person. Even if the body is not physically injured, the missing part will greatly reduce our combat power. Lu Qi reminded. Ha 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 ha, that's what I said, but can you really do it? In front of my ability to eliminate fruits, dodge perfectly. Number 7 seems to have opened up a hidden cruel character, and the dense white fang is chilling. As long as it is touched by my body, its existence itself will be eliminated. The ability to eliminate all entities, this is the Paramesha elimination fruit. The part that is ordered by the capable user to be eliminated will directly disappear from this world. However, in fact, those parts that disappeared 29 just entered another dimension. The fruit elimination ability is related to the space ability to some extent, and the touched objects are sent to other spaces. Its existence itself still exists, but it exists in another space world, and cannot be used by its original owner. This is a status ability similar to childlike fruit. There are 2 ways to get rid of this eliminated state. One is that the person with the ability takes the initiative to release the ability. The second is to defeat those with abilities. Since it is impossible for the opponent to unlock the ability on his own initiative, the only thing left is to defeat him. Tempest Kick Guy Bird. The blue air blade turned into the shape of a big bird, and flew towards number 7 fruit elimination ability user. Iron Body. The number 7 Waist and Horse unite, using their first Iron Body defense to resist Lu Qi's Tempest Kick Guy head-on. However, he seems to have overestimated the strength of his Iron Body. Under Lu Qi's Tempest Kick, which was powerful enough to cut through the warship, his iron body was broken in an instant, and he flew upside down tens of meters, smashing several big trees before finally stopping. Click. Even the white robe and mask on him were torn apart by the Tempest Kick's sharpness, revealing a young pale face. Cough cough cough. Number 7 looked gloomy, and raised his hand to wipe the bloodline from the corner of his mouth. You are indeed a Superman with more than 4,000 powers. Whether it is the use of the 6 moves or the power value, you are far above me, but... Before number 7's pretend was over, another big blue bird was kicked out by Lu Qi and headed towards him. Advertisement. Damn it. Number 7 cursed angrily, and was cut by the big blue bird in the next second. What I hate the most are arrogant people, Lu Qi said lightly. He, is it? Number 7's sneer came from the dust stirred up by the big blue bird. His body. How is this going? When they saw number 7 walking out of the dust, both Kaku and Nuggets widened their eyes in shock. This is the ability to eliminate fruit. When necessary, I can even temporarily eliminate the attack part. Your attack doesn't work at all, Lu Qi. Number 7 laughed triumphantly. He cannot dispel Tempest Kick, which has no body. But it is possible to dodge by eliminating the attack part. This ability is somewhat similar to Kamui Sharingan of Obito in the Hokage world. The ability to be boring, have the ability to eliminate your head as well. Lu Qi spoke calmly, and then continued to attack with his feet. After all, number 7 and others are just CP0's reserves, far from being full members. Facing Lu Qi, the strongest CP9 in the past 800 years, even if he has weird abilities, it is useless. After a while, number 7's body was torn apart. The hands, feet, torso, and even half of the face were all eliminated by him into another space. Eliminating his own body to avoid attacks on such a large scale also had a huge impact on his own actions. I've had enough, 7 snapped. The next moment, the body parts he eliminated reappeared one after another. At the same time, Lu Qi's right palm that had been eliminated before also returned to its original position. So that's how it is. Once the ability is released, both yourself and others will recover. It's really a boring ability. Lu Qi smiled sarcastically. Rob Lu Qi. Number 7 stared at Lu Qi with a vicious expression, gnashing his teeth. That's enough. Number 7, your abilities are mostly support, so you don't have to fight this monster head-on. At this moment, there was a loud shout from the dense forest. Immediately afterwards, there was a mess of breaking wind. It doesn't take a moment. There were dozens more people in the arena, surrounding the 3 of Lu Qi. Except for the 2 CP reserves who also wore masks. There are also a group of government killers in black suits, and an idiot chief in a striped suit. Clap clap. Idiot Chief Spandane clapped his hands. As expected of being the strongest of CP9, the kids I brought are still far from mature. Advertisement. Spanda said coldly with a half smile. Spandine. Lu Qi looked at Spandine with a trace of disgust flashing across his face. Whether it is lousy or sun, they are equally disgusting. Number 3, let's give them our presents. Spandane sneered. Give it back to you. The tall CP0 reserve number 3 raised his hand and threw it away. A bloody human head crossed the river and landed at Lu Qi's feet. Jabra. Jabra. After being able to recognize the identity of the head, the eyes of Kaku, Fukuro and Fukuro instantly turned red. Even Lu Qi was the same, his calm state of mind was broken, and 067 violent emotions emerged in his heart. Ha 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 ha, a mere wild wolf dares to fight the fierce tiger of my king of beasts, it's really asking for death. Don't you guys know that the miserable appearance of this wild wolf before it died, the ugly appearance of crying and begging for mercy is really unforgettable. Number 3 laughed arrogantly and triumphantly. The body continued to grow taller and stronger, stretching out the white robe. After appearing in people's sights, he has completely transformed into a Madara tiger man. Jabra, however, just before Lu Chi launched a revenge battle. Another sad and angry voice came from not far from the forest in the southeast direction. That voice is Khalifa. The owner of Kaku, who heard the voice for the first time, couldn't help but turn around suddenly. On the other side, everyone including Spandane also turned their heads in shock, waiting to see the tall man walking out from the opened-air door not far away. Extreme shock, fear, horror and other emotions rushed into my heart in an instant. Occupied the entire mind of Spandane and his party. Dominated by an emotion called fear. They couldn't even utter a complete sentence for a while. He. No, that's impossible. How could he be here? Ah, the idiot Chief Spanda yelled out in horror. Obviously, the murderer who killed his son was right in front of him. However, at this moment, he couldn't give birth to the slightest thought of revenge. There was only one thought on his mind. Escape. Advertisement Chapter 97. CP0 is completely wiped out. CP9 feed S choice. Open black lens bracket, subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. The ugly scream from Spandane echoed in the forest. No, it's impossible. Why are you here? I can't believe my luck is this bad. Spanda was full of tears on his old face, showing his full potential. In the face of fear, he behaved exactly like his son Spandine. When it comes to the hatred towards Chi Yu, Spandane is undoubtedly the number one in the field. Because his only son, Spandane, died tragically at the hands of Chi Yu. The whole person exploded, leaving no bones left. These days, he thinks about killing all the time, even in his dreams. But when Chi Yu really stood in front of him, all his hatred and killing intent died down, leaving only endless fear and longing for life. He really wanted to escape. But there is no escape. His feet were as if they had been filled with lead. An unprecedented horror dominated his whole body and mind. At the same time, Khalifa, Bluno and Woohoo. When he recognized the man between the two partners, Kumadori's eyes widened in shock. Chababa, the man next to Kafa. The seriously injured Otonashi Fukuro swallowed hard. His eyes were fixed on Chi Yu without blinking. Make no mistake, that man is none other than the Red Hair Pirates vice captain. The uncrowned emperor. Arrogance no Chi Yu. Kaku was shocked, lost his voice, and yelled. This moment, when Chi Yu suddenly appeared. Not to mention a slag like Spandane with weak mental endurance. Even a cold-killing machine like Rob Lucci's body is completely frozen. As for the men brought by Spandane, even the CP reserve, numbers, known for their ruthless bloodthirsty. At this time, there is no benefit, and everyone is trapped in the fearful Uzumaki, unable to extricate themselves. A tiger howl shook the mountains and forests. The Madara tiger, which is covered with tendons, roars to dispel the fear and haze that hangs over its heart. The huge tiger's claws stepped on the ground, causing cracks to grow in the ground. Everyone, now is the time to show the fruits of our penance for so many years. He is a monster, and we are also monsters trained by the government for many years. There is nothing scary at all. The number 3 tiger fruit ability user roared loudly. When facing Chi Yu, he can still bring up the will to fight, and he has to admit that his courage is commendable. A newborn calf may not be afraid of tigers, but what about an existence that can make the sea tremble by stomping its feet? What is called courage is just another word for stupidity. Under the clamor of the number 3 tiger ability user. No. 8 blood-sucking mosquito, number 9 praying mantis warrior, and number 7 fruit eliminating person are all refreshed. The fear on his face subsided a little, and a look eager to try appeared instead. Not without the possibility of victory. As long as number 7's ability to eliminate fruit can be used smoothly. Transfer Chi Yu's body to another dimension. Advertisement. At that time, there will only be one head left, and that will not be up to them. The members of the CP0 reserve team couldn't help but start to fantasize about being able to accomplish this feat. Whoosh, whoosh, 2 afterimages flashed in the sky. The blood-sucking mosquito man and the mantis man, 2 major flying insects, fluttered their wings together. Expand their respective maximum speeds to circle Chi Yu in an attempt to interfere. But their interference was over before it even began. Swish. In the coldness, there is a blazing golden knife light flickering. The 2 worm fruit ability users didn't even snort, and their heads were in different places in an instant. Ding. Like gold and iron handing over. People suddenly looked up. A man in a white robe and mask appeared in front of Chi Yu, who was originally empty. The dagger in his hand was firmly clamped by the index finger and middle finger of Chi Yu's right hand, and he could not move. Oh, it involves the ability of space. Chi Yu spoke with great interest. One glance is enough to see through the ability of this never-before-seen CPO reserve. Under Chi Yu's penetrating gaze, the CP0 reserve, who has the ability to teleport within a certain range, let out a strange cry of fear, and wanted to teleport away. Since you're here, don't leave. However, Chi Yu's voice echoed in his ears like the whisper of ghosts and gods. Next moment, reserve number 13 was horrified to find that his teleportation failed. No, not a failure. Instead, his body lost consciousness. He lost control of himself. Clearly conscious is still awake. But the body has already been killed first. His vision gradually blurred. Until complete darkness, the third CP0 reserve with a strength of 600 superhumans died. In front of Chi Yu. In front of a strong man of the Sea Emperor level. The so-called world government Superman is nothing but a joke. If you want to be destroyed, it is as easy as chopping vegetables and melons. In an instant, 3 kills. This horrible picture deeply hurt the hearts of other people who were still alive. Even those with the number 3 tiger ability who put down their rhetoric before, now their hands and feet are icy. The tiger face of the king of beasts is full of horror and fear. Escape. This was the only thought in the hearts of all the government killers present. Except for Spandine, who couldn't even stand up when he was fighting between the two. The other killers in black suits all turned around and ran away without hesitation. Increase the shaving speed of each of the 6 styles beyond the limit. Number 3 tiger ability user also turned around without hesitation, and fled with his tail. However, before he ran far, Lucci's figure suddenly appeared on his way. 6 styles max round 6 king gun. Advertisement. At this moment, driven by the anger of the tragic death of his partner Jabra, Lucci is like a tiger that chooses to eat. Even without the power bonus of the cat fruit leopard form. But the power of his 6 king spear profound art is stronger than that of the leopard form. This is the power of anger. Not just Lucci, except Otonashi Fukuro who was seriously injured and dying. Kaku, Wuku, Khalifa, and Bluno also surrounded the murderer who killed their brother. Tempest kick, finger pistol. All kinds of 6-style stunts emerge and endlessly. Show no mercy. No way out. The number 3 tiger capable user didn't even have the chance to kneel down and beg for mercy. Under the joint onslaught of Khalifa 4 people, it was torn apart and turned into a meat sauce. That's not all. Bluno, the door fruit ability user, keeps opening the air door. Capture and kill all the fleeing government thugs in black suits. Not a single one was left alive. After a few minutes. The world is quiet. The mountain forest was stained with blood and fell into an unspeakable silence. On the killer side of the world government, there are only the last 2 people left. Number 7, quickly use your ability to eliminate fruit to hide me in your elimination space. Quote. Spandane shouted as if grasping at the last straw. You idiot sir, don't expose my abilities. Number 7 roared angrily, and the ability to eliminate fruits was fully activated, speeding up the process of disappearing itself. As long as he can hide in his own disappearing space, he has the confidence to survive. Even Chi Yu will definitely not be able to find the space where he is. It's coming soon, it's about to succeed, ha 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 ha, I survived, fortunately. Just when number 7 was laughing proudly for his own survival. Next moment, his last finger that remained in the outer space was imprisoned by some unparalleled force. Immediately afterwards, a destructive force started from that finger and quickly spread to his whole body. In an instant, all internal organs in his body were shattered. No vomit. Without the support of physical strength, his fruit ability was forced to be released. Number 7 collapsed to the ground like mud, continuously spitting out blood mixed with internal organs. Vitality fades away and eventually dies out. Spandine, rejoice, you will not die here. Chi Yu smiled. Before the surprise appeared on Spandane's terrified old face, he suddenly stopped. Because your life will be worse than death. Chi Yu said indifferently. Turn around. The storm-like fists of Khalifa and others enveloped him. 3 minutes later, Spandine is barely humanoid. But he is still alive. Because Chi Yu didn't let him die. Then, it's time for you to make a decision, CP9. Advertisement Chapter 98 Rob Lucci surrenders. Hunt celestial dragons. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Rob Lucci, come on, make a choice. I'm a pirate, not a philanthropist. You who were saved because of me will eventually have to pay some price. Chi Yu spoke calmly. There is an undeniable command tone between the words. Heard the words. The hot blood in the bodies of Kaku, Nugget, and Fukuro cooled down. A heart subconsciously raised his throat. They are never naive. They don't think that Chi Yu helps them without asking for anything in return. The positions of Khalifa and Bluno at the moment are enough to explain everything. Then it's their turn to decide. To be frank, for this option proposed by Chi Yu. The 3 of Kaku didn't have much entanglement in their hearts. The situation has developed to the point where it is now. They already have no way out. It is absolutely impossible to return to the embrace of the world government. Even if the world government doesn't care what they did. They will definitely not go back again. Because their partner Jabra has died tragically. Even a ruthless killer cannot remain indifferent to the death of his brother since childhood. Besides these days the fled down. They CP9 are by no means ruthless. Not long ago in the town of Queen of Spring. To pay for Rob Lucci's treatment. These ruthless killers who make a living by killing have become funny and entertaining 437 characters without hesitation in compromising. Jabra even did not hesitate to jump through hoops like ordinary animals. Through thick and thin these days. In the past, there was a lot of verbal friction in the past, and it has disappeared. Their relationship as a CP9 team has never been more united. He can even sacrifice himself for his friends. Lucci. Khalifa, Kaku and the others looked nervously at Lucci, waiting for his answer. Flappy. The white dove with a tie flapped its wings and landed on Lutu's brow again. Lucci didn't say a word, and walked in silence. He picked up a head covered in mud and blood from the ground. Still not saying a word. Rob Lucci stopped about 3 meters away from Chi Yu. Then he got down on one knee. Lucci. Very good. The tension and cloud on the faces of Khalifa and others dissipated. A hanging heart was finally able to let go. They already knew Lucci's choice. I want revenge on the world government. Rob Lucci looked up, the flames of vengeance flickering in his eyes. Of course can. I hope you don't forget what you said today. Chi Yu grinned. Say it. Advertisement. Chi Yu turned around and waved his arms. It's still some time before noon. Then I'll take you to collect some interest. After a few minutes, Chi Yu led the CP9 people away from the blood-stained forest. Oncoming is the elite of the 9 snakes headed by the Empress Boa Hancock. Mr. Chi Yu, Master Chi Yu, the sturdy girls of 9 snakes screamed coquettishly, followed in the footsteps of the Empress, and hurried forward. Is it over? Empress Hancock opened her bright eyes and asked, pretending not to care. Let's end here. But there's one more. How? Do you want to go together? Chi Yu smiled and invited. Oh who? One Piece Empress Boa Hancock's pretty face looks like spring flowers blooming. She raised her slender hand and unconsciously covered her red lips. A series of rich brain supplements unfolded in my heart. For example, is this a marriage proposal? Boa Hancock thought outrageously. Sister, what's the matter with you? The Boya sisters reminded suspiciously. I am willing. Boa Hancock nodded shyly. It was as if he was really accepting a marriage proposal. The beautiful pretty face is full of happiness. Only. Quickly, Boa Hancock couldn't stop laughing. Looking at the mansion not far away that was heavily guarded. Look at the banner that symbolizes the celestial dragons. Boa Hancock's little face was instantly pale as paper. Her delicate body staggered slightly. It looks like it's about to fall. A hot and wide embrace supported her delicate body. Feel the warmth behind you. Boa Hancock's pale little face regained some color. You are the pirate empress. Hancock, let go of fear. Songguan strides forward, CJAJ. I will always be behind you. Chi Yu spoke calmly but firmly. Chi Yu, Your Excellency. Hazy mist covered Boa Hancock's beautiful eyes. Let's start. The long-lost celestial dragons hunt. Deliver Boa Hancock to Sandersonia. Chi Yu took the lead. Hit the door with one punch. Who? Advertisement. Everyone is on alert. There are intruders. Protect Lord Saros. This man, he is. Boom. The invisible overlord breath centered on Chi Yu, instantly covering the entire celestial dragon's mansion. Just for a moment, the terrified screams from all over the place stopped abruptly. Among the hundreds of celestial dragon's guards, those who can still stand are astonishingly less than 2 hands. Kill. The original CP9 headed by Rob Lucci took a deep breath and began to harvest ruthlessly. Sister, my lord, there was a tremolo in Boa Marigold's voice. She has always been strong, but now her face is full of anxiety. As a former prisoner of the celestial dragons, she also has a natural fear of celestial dragons. Celestial dragons, hunting. Boya Sandersonia whispered unconsciously. Hunting celestial dragons. Is this kind of thing serious? Just hitting celestial dragons will bring revenge from Marine Admiral, if you kill. Jendon, Daisy, Zifanhua and other 9 snake cadres were all pale. Shocked and horrified by the scenes I witnessed in front of me, I couldn't add more. If it is that adult, there is no need to doubt anything. Sandersonia suddenly nodded firmly, because Master Chi Yu already regarded celestial dragons as prey a few years ago, and he has hunted them before. Reminded by her, everyone also reacted. Think of a certain report I saw in the newspaper a few years ago. No. Not good. If other people see, we follow Mr. Chi Yu, to hunt celestial dragons together. Snake Princess's title of Shichibukai will be taken away. Think here. The unease on the faces of the cadres of the 9 snakes was even worse. Many people have already given birth to the meaning of retreating. I want to retreat back to the ship first, and then make plans. Shut up all of them. Boa Hancock's majestic drinking sound exploded. So what if I was seen? No one will blame the concubine. Because this concubine is as beautiful as a fairy. Finish the lines of the signboard. Boa Hancock stepped forward with his long legs, stepping towards his own fear. When the 9 snakes arrived, the feud at the Celestial Dragon's mansion is pretty much over. The few people who were still awake under the impact of Chi Yu's conqueror's hockey were defeated by CP9. Pirate Empress Boa Katakana middle dot Miss Hancock. Khalifa stepped forward to greet him bravely. What's up? Hancock cast a nonchalant glance at Khalifa. Master Chi Yu said earlier, if you are ready, please go this way. Advertisement Chapter 99 Kill Celestial Dragons. A call with the 5 elders. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. What? You. Who are you? What do you want to do? Do you know who I am? I am a descendant of the creator. I'm the Celestial Dragons. If you mess with the Celestial Dragons, you'll get Marine Admiral. It will be too late for you to beg for mercy. Now. Celestial Dragon Saros. Threatening words turned into screams of strength like killing a pig. Snapped. His right hand turned into a puddle of meat paste under Chi Yu's feet. It's really noisy. Chi Yu looked at Celestial Dragon Saros indifferently, and licked his ears. He raised his big feet, covered his face, and stepped on his face crookedly. The screams stopped abruptly. If it weren't for these wastes, there would still be some uses. Chi Yu had already smashed this unsightly idiot into pieces. Not long. There was the sound of high-heeled shoes on the floor outside the corridor. The pirate queen Boa Hancock looked puzzled. I don't know what Chi Yu wanted to do by calling her to this place. Are you going to get married? Empress Boa Hancock knocked on the door nervously and somewhat expectantly. The door opens. The first thing that caught Boa Hancock's sight was the celestial dragons lying on the ground like mud. For Boa Hancock, who spent 4 years of hell in Mariajoy. The bubble air mask, the clothes, and the ugly face that woke her up from nightmares countless times were all so familiar. After many years, she once again saw the celestial dragons who left her with infinite fear and shadow. At this moment, Boa Hancock's pretty face turned pale. Painful memories from the past come flooding back. It was so overwhelming that she could hardly breathe. The pirate empress who has always been arrogant in front of others. At this time, he could hardly even stand still, under the impact of past memories. Not long ago, Chi Yu's reassurance was not enough. Thankfully, that warmth followed, enough to melt away any icy chill. Chi Yu swept his arms around, grabbed the stumbling Boa Hancock, and brought his entire body into his arms. Hancock, now you're just dealing with a piece of shit. It's just a waist that makes you so scared that you can't even stand upright, it's too ugly. Chi Yu scolded lightly. No, Lord Chi Yu doesn't know, you don't know what my concubine has experienced in the past. Please let my concubine go, I don't want to see him. Boa Hancock lay in Chi Yu's arms, screaming and begging almost out of control. I know, whether it's the imprint on your back or your past, I know everything. Chi Yu spoke calmly. You know it all. When the biggest secret in his heart was revealed, Boa Hancock felt cold all over. His head lowered even more, he didn't dare to look at Chi Yu anymore. Advertisement. Chi Yu lifted Boa Hancock's smooth chin with his hand, forcing her to look at him. You didn't look down on me. Boa Hancock opened his hazy eyes and murmured unconsciously. From Chi Yu's eyes, she could not see the slightest ridicule or disdain. His gaze didn't change because of her former slave status. The past is over, are you really willing to let these scumbags become your nightmare forever? What is in front of you now is nothing but a useless piece of trash. Kill him now, and let him feel your pain 1,000 times over. Chi Yu said resolutely, using his own conqueror's room energy to affect the hockey in Boa Hancock's body. Paji, a thigh of the nearly unconscious celestial dragon Saros turned into a puddle of meat paste under Chi Yu's feet. The miserable screams recurred. Look, it's just a very simple thing. Chi Yu encouraged with a smile. Boa Hancock closed her beautiful eyes and took a deep breath. When her beautiful eyes opened again, most of the fear of the past in the depths of her eyes had dissipated. That is the recovery of the conqueror's power contained in her body, allowing her to return to the original position of the proud empress. No, spare me, no, don't kill me, I'm a Tianlong. Huge room. Blood was splattering. The screams continued. This is the vengeance of the pirate queen. Celestial dragons, that's all. How wonderful this is. Scream and blood of the celestial dragons. Let Boa Hancock enjoy the thrill of slaughtering celestial dragons alone. Chi Yu quietly exited the room. Then it's time for a nap. Chi Yu whispered to himself. The voice fell. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. The second passive is activated by the arrogant sun. His figure changed drastically. Before nap, of course, I have to say hello to my subordinates. Shortly after, when Chi Yu in arrogant form appeared. Ask for flowers. All the original CP9 including Lu Chi stared wide-eyed in shock. Master Chi Yu, that's amazing. And he's really handsome. That muscle, I really want to touch it. Khalifa's beautiful eyes under the gold-rimmed glasses brightened, and a trace of crystal dripped from the corner of her mouth. Wipe it off quickly before no one notices. Then I'll leave the rest to you. I look forward to your performance. Advertisement. Chi Yu said. Yes, do not worry. Aftermath, we are professional. Bluno, Kaku and others stood at attention quickly. Chi Yu nodded, getting ready for lunch break. At this time, Master Chi Yu, Rob Lucci's figure suddenly appeared. Blue. Oh. Lying in his palm is a very special phone bug. Master Chi Yu, this is the phone bug that fell from Spandane's body. Probably a direct contact from the world government 5 elders. Rob Lucci said in a deep voice. Nani, what did you say? 5 elders. Khalifa and the others were all shocked. It is naturally impossible to be unfamiliar with 5 elders. After all, that is the highest power in the world. 5 elders. Oh, interesting. Chi Yu grinned with interest. Then it was connected under the staring eyes of Khalifa and others. An unspeakable silence followed. I don't know how long it has been. You are not Spandine. Who are you? What happened to Spandine? Why is this phone bug in your hand? An old and majestic voice came. What a stupid question, 5 old men. It's so stupid that I don't even want to answer. Chi Yu responded arrogantly. B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* words, the 5 elders on the other end of the phone bug couldn't help but blow up. So many years. No one had ever dared to speak to them in such an arrogant tone. Because they are the highest authority in the world. Standing at the apex of power. My name is Chi Yu. So you should know it. Chi Yu didn't hide it. Nani. What did you say? It turned out to be you. Comma. Advertisement chapter 105 Elders exploded. The world government and the Red Group are in full-scale war. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. You. Red hair pirates, what the hell are you trying to do? First Ennie's lobby, then this time. Damn it, are you determined to fight us? The world's highest power, the five elders roared in rage in the depths of the Holy Land Mariajoy. It was transmitted to Paradise Island thousands of miles away through the phone bug, and it was still full of deterrence. Ha ha, the five old men of the world government. You managed to make me laugh. Chi Yu laughed out loud. What's so funny? The five elders, with their aristocratic curly hair, snapped. Against you, isn't that a matter of course? Who do you think I am? I'm a pirate. Shouldn't pirates be hostile to your world government? Chi Yu asked back, the other end of the phone bug. The five elders froze. After being reminded by Chi Yu, they also felt like they were being fooled by themselves. Yes, that's right. Pirates and Marine, and their world government are already hostile. 790, relationship. Especially now that they were talking to one of the sea's scariest pirates. Damn it, what the hell is that B************ D with the red hair going to do? Five elders, with blonde hair and beard, smashed the marble table in front of him with a palm. First the contact with Whitebeard, and then the sending of such a dangerous man to paradise. Does he really want to break the agreement and take the initiative to overthrow the rare piece? The bald-headed five elders in the black suit let out a low growl in horror. The arrogance of the red hair pirates. What is your purpose? Why did you attack Spandane and the others? Five elders in a dark blue suit asked in a deep voice. Well, if you insist, you can only blame him for being unlucky. Chi Yu grinned. The reason why he came to this island was because he met Spandane by chance, not because he was chasing after him on purpose. By the way, it's not just the scum like Spandane who is unlucky. What did you say? The warrior Lao Xing, dressed in white exercise clothes, yelled, but also reacted instantly. Even another move on the celestial dragons. Damn it, how dare you challenge God's majesty over and over again? Do you really want to court death? The five elders shouted like thunder. Hearing that Khalifa and other original CP9s were all silent. Even Rob Lucci is full of solemnity. As a member of the original CP9. Of course they've seen the five elders. I know that the five old people are not just ordinary weak and powerful people. They also have a powerful individual strength beyond imagination. It's you who are really courting death. It's just five old men. If it appeared in front of me, one hand would be enough to crush it to death. Chi Yu spoke arrogantly. The strength of the five elders will be more arrogant and powerful than them. Advertisement. Don't get carried away. The old warrior star was about to blow his lungs out of anger. Do you red hair pirates really want to go to war with us? Even if you are the strongest pirate group in the world, you are completely vulnerable to the background of our government. The curly-haired aristocrat five elders stopped drinking coldly. You have to know that once a war starts, it can't be stopped with just a few words. The result is destined to capsize the sea and flow blood into rivers. The blonde old star threatened. Hee hee. Chi Yu grinned. Go to war. Just what I want. It's just, are you ready for destruction? Hateful. Do you really think you are invincible? The clanging of knives exploded. That was the whisper of the supreme sharp knife on the waist of the warrior old star. In this sea, kings are as numerous as sand, but I am the only one who is different. The sun shines on the world. And I am the sun. I at %. Crack. The phone bug hangs up for the five elders who exploded their lungs. This moment, they finally realize the frustration and annoyance of talking to an extremely arrogant man. In fact, not long before the conversation started. They have already realized the fact that the time has reached noon. Knowing that the man opposite has completed his transformation. Just who are they? The world's highest power five elders. Commander of world government and marine. How could it be frightened by the arrogance of a mere pirate? They tried to overwhelm Chi Yu's arrogance with the might of supreme power. He even did not hesitate to call out all-out war to intimidate Chi Yu. However, to their dismay, the man at noon was really arrogant to the extreme, and he didn't take anything. Even if they use war as a threat, they remain unmoved. All-out war with the red hair pirates. Of course that's what they're talking about. After all, the title of the world's strongest pirate group is not fake. Want to destroy the pirate group with two emperor-level powerhouses. Even their world government must pay an unbearable huge price. It will be full of many variables. Others aside. Chi Yu's arrogant attitude at noon alone is the biggest variable. After all, it was not so long ago. Chi Yu once defeated a marine with the highest combat power in just 1 minute. Blow up Admiral Aokiji, and according to Aokiji's description afterwards. This is most likely not Chi Yu's full strength. No one knows how terrifying Chi Yu is at 12 o'clock in the noon. Even if they pick a time period other than noon to do it. No one can guarantee that they can win Chi Yu within a day. After all, Chi Yu has the body of an immortal Vajra. In a sense, it's like combining 4 Emperors Big Mom Charlotte Linlin's steel balloon with 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts, Undead Recovery. Such a monster is the most difficult to deal with. Advertisement. Even 2 or even 3 admirals may not be able to win in a short time. That brat is really too arrogant. The old man can't wait to rush over and chop it under the knife now. The old warrior star has a strong sense of sword all over his body. It's still free. It's too risky to pass now. If you are not careful, you may. The blonde-haired and bearded old star shook his head, and did not say the word, send the head, which was regarded as giving face. Looks like it's necessary to contact the Redhead Shanks. Look what he wants to do. A sharp light flashed in the eyes of the old star in the dark blue suit. Blue, blue, blue. The phone bugged to the New World rings. 5 minutes later. Damn, hate, hate. One or two are all like this. The five elders' exasperated shouts echoed in the hall for a long time. Obviously, they were equally deflated in their dealings with the red-haired Shanks. They would have liked Redhead to save them face. In the end, it was they who wanted to give red-haired Shanks face. Thinking about it now, it's just, the more I think about it, the more angry I get. Redhead Shanks, you're still a pirate after all. The reason why he keeps the peace must have some unknown secret. Leave them alone for now, the most important thing right now is the Whitebeard pirates. Even we can't go to war with Whitebeard and Redhead at the same time. Too much risk. This tone, hold on for the time being. But in the future it will be doubled. At the same time, 2.9 New World. Banquet Island No. 76. Shanks. Beckman raised an eyebrow in question. Redhead Shanks looked odd. What the hell did that Chi-Yu guy do? Beckman guessed. It's the five elders coming straight to me this time. Okay. The Redhead nodded, but it didn't say the specific reason. It just so happens that you can tell him the exact coordinates. But don't be in a hurry, just wait another 2 hours. Why don't you take this opportunity to contact Chi-Yu and ask? Ahahaha, don't worry, Beckman, I've got it back perfectly. As soon as you come, ask me for face. Nodding sympathetically. Redhead Shanks nodded. I believe they will give me this face. Beckman looked at the sky. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Beckman. Beckman suggested. Beckman. Redhead Shanks laughed. Advertisement Chapter 101 Bring Xiaobai Hancock into the world of adults. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Naval Headquarters. Marshal's Office. Sengoku, what's the matter? Suddenly showing such an expression. Chief Staff Officer Vice Admiral frowned slightly. The troops sent by the Paradise Island world government to hunt down CP9 are all wiped out. Sengoku said in a low voice. What did you say? Vice Admiral Crane looked shocked. It's not over yet. The celestial dragons on vacation on that island are dead too. Sengoku said. There is such a thing. What the hell is? Vice Admiral Crane paused halfway through his words. Even without asking, just looking at Sengoku's constipated expression. She can probably guess a thing or two. It's that man again. Vice Admiral's eyes twitched. Sengoku nodded in confirmation. That man's words are no surprise at all. So what is the world government going to do? Should Pelusalino be dispatched? Vice Admiral Crane asked. Do not. Sengoku shook his head. A direct order from the five elders, this incident will be suppressed for the time being. Oh, Vice Admiral, he raised his eyebrows in surprise. Soon, he figured out the key point again. As the higher up concentrating on Whitebeard. Vice Admiral Crane rode. Okay. Sengoku nodded. The topic of the big event about the death of celestial dragons is hereby revealed. 29 Marshal Sengoku aside. As for whether the celestial dragons are dead or not, the chief advisor, Vice Admiral Crane, doesn't care much. The anxiety and anger outside are just a disguise for the world government to see. For the celestial dragons, who do all kinds of evil and are more lawless than pirates. Vice Admiral Crane has a similar attitude to Garp. I don't care if I can. Not to mention that this time it's about my brother-in-law. Even if you don't want to admit it. But Vice Admiral Crane also knows. Guion is planning to go all the way to the end. Follow that man. To this, even as a sister-in-law, she can't interfere too much. In case one fails, if you push Guion directly into a hurry and throw it to the opposite side, it will be too late to cry. The battle is scheduled for tomorrow. Garp over there, Xiaohei, help me to watch. Sengoku ends the topic. I see. Paradise Island. Due to the celestial dragons settled in. The entire luxury holiday villa area is deserted. This is just convenient for Chi-Yu and his party. End call with five elders. Chi-Yu randomly found a sea view villa for lunch. Feel refreshed. Chi-Yu felt as if he was surfing and swimming on the magnificent waves of the sea. It's like taking a nap in the sea of flowers in the Garden of Eden. The mouth and nose are full of fragrance and fragrance. Sweet and at the same time with a touch of unique flavor. Lunch break for 2 full hours. Advertisement. Chi-Yu, who had returned to his normal figure, stretched lazily. Looking at the sweet woman who was sleeping lightly like a kitten beside her. Chi-Yu was not so surprised. As early as in sleep. He probably already guessed. After all, only those with sweet fruit ability can possess such a sweet aura. It's just such a wonderful dream. Chi-Yu naturally didn't want to take the initiative to destroy it. It seemed to be influenced and driven by Chi-Yu's awakening. Empress Boa Hancock's long and narrow eyelashes trembled slightly. The hazy sleepy eyes opened immediately. Miss Empress, are you in such a hurry? Chi-Yu smiled and joked. Empress Hancock blinked her eyes wide. Do not dodge or avoid. He stared at Chi-Yu fiercely. Half an hour. Empress Hancock, who was fully awake, still did not show shyness like an ordinary girl. She blinked her big eyes and tilted her head cutely. Master Chi-Yu, we should be a couple now. Boa Hancock spoke seriously. The color of happiness on his face. I thought that after all, I was one step faster, and I was the first to strike first. The blonde hair that came out of nowhere was no match at all. Puff. Listen to Empress Hancock's words, of course. Chi Yu couldn't hold back. If there is wine in his mouth, it will all be sprayed out. Dare to feel that this big girl who is about to be 30 is really a complete noob in that respect. Completely. A blank sheet of paper, never rendered. Even though he knew something about it, after the actual experience, Chi Yu couldn't help being a little amazed. Master Chi Yu, what's wrong? After confirming the relationship between husband and wife, Boa Hancock became more and more familiar with Chi Yu's adult title. Listen, Hancock. Chi Yu looked slightly solemn. He decided to teach this little white Hancock who didn't know anything. Yes, listening to the man she loves calling her name again. Boa Hancock only felt that something was hitting him inside. Her eyes were wide, with a look of joy and satisfaction. Married, couple, these 2 points are not as simple as you think. Chi Yu said seriously. Isn't my concubine and Master Chi Yu still married? Boa Hancock was confused. At the same time, the pretty face was also a little disappointed. It's still early, Chi Yu said, so what should we do? I want to be a real couple with Master Chi Yu. Boa Hancock looked more serious than ever. You really want to know? Chi Yu narrowed his eyes slightly. His face was strange. I always feel that my current behavior is suspected of deceiving Xiaobai. But on second thought, Hancock is a little white. But it's not small at all. The age is going to be 3. It is also time to learn some knowledge. Yes, Teacher Chi Yu, please teach me what a real couple is. Boa Hancock asked seriously. Then wake up. Then it's time to teach by example. Chi Yu didn't hesitate anymore. Advertisement. Boo. The world of adults is so good, so amazing. This is the only sigh in Boa Hancock's heart at this moment. The proud empress in front of people is now like a cute and docile kitten. Nestling in Chi Yu's arms, her brows and eyes curved, she was so intoxicated that she couldn't extricate herself. Chi Yu is also greedy for Boa Hancock's warmth, holding her tightly in his arms. He sniffed between the black hair, breathing in her scent gently. It's a real couple now, Hancock. Chi Yu whispered in Boa Hancock's ear. Yes, Lord Chi Yu. Tears of joy welled up in the corners of Boa Hancock's eyes. Chi Yu's big warm hand landed on Boa Hancock's smooth back, fingers all the way down. To touch the scar that will never heal for Boa Hancock. Don't want. Just when Chi Yu's finger touched the red scar. Boa Hancock, immersed in happiness, suddenly reacted violently. The spirit fluctuates violently. In an instant, the original satisfaction turned into tension and panic. The original pretty face was pale as paper at this moment. Do not look. Boa Hancock nearly collapsed and buried his head in Chi Yu's arms. She was flustered, at a loss, and fell into extreme panic. Once captured by the celestial dragons, the mark of the flying hoof of the celestial dragon left on her back is a scar that she will never forget in her life. In order to keep the secret on her back, she even made a big fuss every time she took a bath, driving everyone nearby away. Not long ago, Chi Yu had asked him to kill a celestial dragons with his own hands, so that she could overcome her fear. Now it seems that it only treats the symptoms but not the root cause, and it is still not completely successful. Originally, the time interval was also slightly shorter. I'm sorry, but I. Boa Hancock's words choked up. At this moment, he couldn't even utter a complete sentence. The former proud 050 Empress, under her extremely arrogant appearance, hides a heart that is more fragile than ordinary people. When it came to the secret that she valued the most, the arrogance she used to protect herself collapsed in an instant, leaving only endless inferiority complex. Sorry. Boa Hancock apologized again, struggling to escape. Of course Chi Yu would not do what she wanted, and held her tightly in his arms. Don't cry. Don't apologize, you are mine now. The group of people who caused your painful past, celestial dragons, I will take you to settle with them. Chi Yu said calmly. It was as if he was just talking about a trivial matter. Listening to Chi Yu's domineering words, Boa Hancock's delicate body trembled slightly, and her fluctuating mood stabilized a little. Master Chi Yu, do you really not mind at all? Although Chi Yu has said it many times, Boa Hancock still couldn't believe it in his heart, and asked again weakly. Chi Yu did not answer Boa Hancock's 21st question, but expressed his heart with practical actions. Blue, blue, blue. The red-haired phone bug rang for the 8th time. Crack, still being hung up mercilessly. The redhead Shanks laughed optimistically. Could this incident be bigger than we thought? Ah ha ha. The other end of the phone bug. Not even answering my calls. Call. Redhead Shanks curls his lips. Probably not. Really, what kind of plane is that Chi Yu guy doing? Very likely. Even Chi Yu knows how to measure it. Beckman exhaled smoke rings and spoke his guess. Beckman looked strange. Okay, since we can't get in touch, let's talk about it later. Break again. Even Chi Yu was too embarrassed to tell you. The atmosphere was stagnant. Maybe Chi Yu really has something important to do. Advertisement Chapter 102. It's just declaring war on the world government. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Early morning. Adjacent to the area of the winter island climate. Forest, leaves, bluestone. Hoarfrost everywhere. The picture is beautiful. After nearly a day and a night. Stayed up all night. The redhead with dark circles under his eyes finally got in touch with his ship's mate. I know. I still think it's a big deal. Don't worry, I will go. Chi Yu said casually. Ahahaha, I probably don't have much time, hurry up. Redhead Shanks said. Become. But even if it's late, it's because of you, Shanks. Chi Yu said. Aha. Redhead Shanks froze. Damn. You yourself have been out of contact since yesterday, and you don't answer the phone, and now you still blame me. Redhead Shanks thought annoyed. If it weren't for your first intelligence error, which was completely different, time wouldn't be so tight. Chi Yu said that the old god is here. Ah, this. The red-haired Shanks froze again. It seems that there is really no way to refute. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up first. Wait a moment. The red hair hurriedly stopped her. By the way, Chi Yu, what did you do on Paradise Island yesterday? Could you have done something terrible again? The redhead asked hastily. This question has been simmering in his mind for a whole day. Uncomfortable tight. You don't know yet, Chi Yu asked back. Hold head high, the redhead responded, waiting for an answer. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Chi Yu comforted him casually. It's just killing the CP0 reserve troops of the world government and adding a celestial dragons. It's not a big deal. As for the threat of the fifth old man, it's all bullshit. Open black lens bracket. It's just that Shanks is the captain after all, so he should have been informed. Close black lens bracket. About the all-out war with the world government. Open black lens bracket. However, those 5 old men just talked about it, but they dare not really start a war. Close black lens bracket. Redhead Shanks. Just kill the CP0 troops and celestial dragons of the world government. It's not the first time anyway. Only. Advertisement. What does it mean to go to war with the world government? Speaking up, Redhead Shanks ponders. On the phone with 5 elders yesterday. Those 5 old men seem to really mean to start a war between the lines. But at the time he didn't notice it at all. Only if the 5 elders are mainly for the Ennie's lobby incident. He kept trying to save face from them. However, reality is always more magical than fiction. When he didn't know. Has my ship's officer declared war on the world government? Thinking with his toes, Shanks also knew that the 5 old men in the Holy Land probably talked to you at noon yesterday. That's why I angrily contacted him on the spot. If it is noon. That's less surprising then. After all, the arrogant son will never compromise, let alone bow his head. Even if the opponent is the 5 elders, the highest power in the world. What's wrong? Shanks. Beckman came upon hearing the news. Looking at the wonderful expression on Shanks' face, I couldn't help feeling suspicious. Cough cough. No. It's nothing serious. Shanks waved his hand. Regardless of whether the 5 elders really have the determination and awareness to go to war with them. Even if they do declare war. Then of course he and the red hair pirates can only fight head on. There is no need for the slightest hesitation. Want to eat their double emperors? No, if you add the Golden Lion, it will be the 3 emperors team. Even if it's the world government, it's not enough if you don't support it. Just as Chi Yu expected. The world government dare not go to war. Gee ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shiki's iconic unruly laugh broke the quiet atmosphere on Paradise Island. The elites of the 9 snakes and everyone in the original CP9 were immediately alert. Waiting to see the huge thing that almost covers the sky. Extreme shock, horror and disbelief appeared on the faces of all the people. What the hell is that? Islands. Flying islands in the sky. Why do islands fly in the sky? Sandersonia and other 9 snake girls were all pale. Not good, not good, not good. If that falls. Everything on this island is going to be overturned. Kaku, Fuku, Fukuro and others were also shocked. Master Chi Yu. The figure of Chi Yu appeared subconsciously in Khalifa's mind. This has almost become an instinct engraved in his soul. If I'm not mistaken, the islands floating above our 9 snakes' heads are the creation of the legendary flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki from the last era. Rob Lucci took a deep breath and spoke in a deep voice. Nani. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. Advertisement. The big pirate who used to compete with One Piece. Kaku and the others were stunned. The 9 snakes not far away also heard Lucci's judgment. Immediately, there was a shocking uproar. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. I've heard his name, a lion ghost comparable to Whitebeard. After disappearing for so many years, is that golden lion still alive? The sturdy 9 snake girls, at this moment, only the original speed is left on their faces. Gia ha 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 ha. The arrogant laughter broke out again. A tiny black dot appeared in people's sight. Little girls, of course the old man is alive. And it's sad to compare the old man with that D Whitebeard. This old man is much purer than that Whitebeard guy. Golden Lion Shiki volleyed up, opening his eyes solemnly and talking nonsense. It's just that no one cared about his words. At this moment, everyone was shocked by the legendary figure of Golden Lion Shiki. Gudong. La la la. The sound of people swallowing saliva with difficulty and gasping for air conditioning came and went one after another. Look at the Golden Lion Shiki standing in the air. Whether it is the 9 snakes or the CP9s, they all have extremely dignified expressions on their faces. Strong. Indescribably powerful. Just looking at the lion-like figure in the sky. Their bodies instinctively produce great fear. All the muscles in his body stiffened unconsciously. Depressed emotions hang over everyone's heart. What kind of pressure is this? Is this a legendary pirate? Boya Sandersonia swallowed hard. Damn it, Our strength is simply not enough to fight. Master Snake, if it's Master Hancock. No, 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 even if it is Oni-sama. But if it is that adult. No need, I'm already here. Others also reacted one after another. Khalifa plucked up the courage and scolded. Sandersonia asked. The panic in their hearts subsided considerably. Call him out quickly. Because there is Lord Chi Yu behind us. I'm here to find the people behind you this time. Pause time. Marigold shuddered. The figure of the same person emerged in my mind at the same time. Tongue. Golden Lion Shiki, what is the purpose of your coming here? Golden Lion Shiki laughed. Shiki manga, even if you are a legendary pirate, I'm not afraid at all. The confidence increased greatly between the words. Jia ha 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 ha, what a coincidence. Advertisement chapter 103 shocked. Golden Lion is a partner. Arrived at the broken battlefield. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. I'm here. Listen to the thick and magnetic voice coming from behind. Khalifa's fair and pretty face couldn't help but flush with excitement. Lu Chi, Kaku and the girls of Nine Snakes also breathed a sigh of relief, and they made up their minds. As long as Chi Yu is there. So what if it's the legendary big pirate? In front of the emperor of the new era. The legends of the old times may not be able to do so. Just when people think so. Looking forward to the occasion when the emperor of the new era overwhelms the legend of the old era. Next second, a scene that no one expected happened. Shiki, it's too late. Chi Yu strode forward with ease and free hand. Gee ha ha ha, don't be so strict. Chi Yu, your contact was too sudden this time, I'm still in another sea area. This is already the fastest speed. Golden Lion Shiki laughed. It's just that there is no previous Jiao and hockey between the smiles. Instead, there was a hint of flattery. Is the legendary flying pirate flattering Chi Yu? Think about it. When noticing this, the girls from Nine Snakes, Lu Chi and other original CPs were once again stunned and shocked beyond measure. No way. The legendary flying pirate and Master Chi Yu. He. Do they say they have formed an alliance with 373? Or maybe the Golden Lion has taken refuge? An outrageous conjecture surfaced in everyone's mind. People's faces were gradually filled with extreme shock and disbelief. However, no matter how unbelievable, facts are facts. Next, the interaction between Chi Yu and Golden Lion. The low profile of the legendary Golden Lion nodding and bowing in front of Chi Yu is enough to prove everything. Prove that their outrageous conjecture is indeed reality. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki has indeed become Chi Yu's partner, or subordinate. This, we have witnessed a historic scene. As expected of Master Chi Yu. Even the legendary flying pirate has bowed his head to Master Chi Yu. In this way, the comprehensive strength of the four emperors' red hair pirates has skyrocketed. From the original configuration of double emperors to 3 emperors. With a team of 3 sea emperors sitting in command, even the world government must be terrified. So that's how it is. The final battle between Whitebeard's 2nd Division Captain Firefist Ace and the traitor Teach. I've heard about this incident, but I never thought that the world government would get involved. It's a breakup between the pirates, what are they doing with the marine and the government? Jab. Golden Lion Shiki shook his head with a look of surprise and confusion. Advertisement. This question will be understood later. Let's go now, because there is probably not much time left. Chi Yu said quietly. Jia ha 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 ha. Don't worry, although I don't know the exact location of the ending island, I still know the sea area for the time being. Golden Lion Shiki patted the bare breast confidently. Okay. Chi Yu nodded. His eyes turned to Ju Snake, Lu Chi and the others. Girls from Nine Snakes, Khalifa and Lu Chi, don't be dumbfounded. Bring everything you need and get ready to go. Chi Yu's majestic opening. Yes, everyone stood at attention to drink. Master Chi Yu, our elder sister. Sandersonia asked tentatively. Leave Hancock to me. Chi Yu nodded. With Chi Yu's guarantee, there is no need to worry anymore. After a simple tidying up, Nine Snakes and the original CP9 boarded the Golden Lion's big ship with shocking emotions. Chi Yu went back to the house and helped the Empress Hancock, who was still tired and sleepy, to dress up. Only then did I return. The Golden Lion boat set sail and came to the coast. Under the Golden Lion's lion fruit ability, Nine Snakes' perfume snake and Chi Yu's sheep melee also took off in place. Not long. The 3 ships landed at the central square of the floating sky island. The huge island hanging over Paradise Island moved slowly. The sky cleared again. Everything is as it was yesterday. The first time I came to the flying floating sky island. The 9 snake girls screamed in surprise and didn't stop. Especially after seeing the shining golden ark moored not far away. The exclamation of the sturdy girls escalated. After instructing his subordinates to entertain the distinguished guests well. Golden Lion Shiki took Chi Yu to the water prison under the palace. The airtight prison is as narrow as a glass container, just enough to accommodate 1 person. The person imprisoned in this special water prison is naturally the mighty Sky Island Thor, Enel. Yo, electric shock kid, he's not dead yet. Chi Yu greeted Enel with a smile. The sea water, capable of incapacitating people, was just at the level of Enel's shoulders. If Enel had to sit down or squat down due to physical weakness, his entire body would be submerged in the weight of sea water. At the same time, in order to prevent Enel from breaking out, Shiki also added a set of sea stone shackles to Enel to completely block his ability. In such a situation, Enel would do his best to stand alive, let alone escape. This is a perfect cage for those with abilities. Listen to Chi Yu's voice. In the narrow prison, Enel, who had closed his eyes and gritted his teeth, opened his eyes. When he saw Chi Yu, the man he regarded as a demon, Enel's face suddenly showed panic. Advertisement. But soon, the flustered look turned into joy. No matter how scary Chi Yu is, as long as he can be released from this damned place, everything else will be fine. Quick, let me out. I can do anything. From now on, you are God. Enel begged feebly. Really? Then follow God's instructions and persist here for a few more days. This is a grind for you. Chi Yu smiled. Enel. I at %. Grinding the hell. Just don't wait for him to continue begging for mercy. Chi Yu and Golden Lion turned around and left. All he was left with was his back in despair. Half a day later. Still too slow. Chi Yu frowned. So Golden Lion Shiki is about to float Sky Island and park at high altitude. Then they drove lightly with Chi Yu, got on the sheep melee, and drove forward at full speed. The speed is more than 10 times faster than moving the entire island. Even so, it still took a whole day to reach the target sea area. It is enough to imagine how outrageous the coordinates of this second time are. I took a spaceship and walked more than half a circle over the sea. Chi Yu and the two finally locked the exact position. Only, Jia ha ha ha, it's really tragic. The whole island was flattened and charred. Golden Lion Shiki smiled. This is only half of the seat, and the other half has probably sunk into the sea. Chi Yu narrowed his eyes slightly. Soon, the phone bug connects. Looks like it's still a step too late. However, prepare more food and wine, I will probably bring a few more people back this time. I'll prepare a banquet for you. Chi Yu grinned. There should be results when you come back. I see. For details, Beckman is already investigating. Shanks is silent. It's over. Redhead Shanks spoke. Thank you, Chi Yu, then come back soon. Shanks still needs to be in touch. Then shook his head slightly. Red hair. Come late and come back late. Really, it's still a step late. Advertisement Chapter 104 Golden Lion and Red Hair. The Super Banquet of the Three Emperors. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertisement. 3 days have passed since the battle between the Whitebeard pirates and the traitor Teach ended the conflict. The sea is still calm, without any waves. Under the blockade and cover of the big hand called world government. Even Morgans, the most escaping birdman, has not received any news. New World. Red Hair Pirates Territory. No. 76 Banquet Island. Dusk fell. The afterglow of the setting sun illuminates the earth. The reflected sea is shimmering, sparkling. This moment. Either at the party or on the party road, Red Hair Pirates on the road. Now the preheating for the grand banquet has begun. Some moment. The sky suddenly became dark. A huge shadow descended from the sky, obscuring the brilliance of the setting sun. What happened? Is it getting dark so soon? Is it going to rain? This is not good. The leaders of Red Hair Pirates were all drowsy from drinking. Boss, everyone, something is wrong. The hedgehog-haired rookie Star Lock suddenly screamed and ran staggeringly. How many times have I said it? Newcomer, calm down. There are reminders from the cadres and old gods. But the island is falling. Star Lock lost his voice in shock. Nani, what did you say? The island is falling. All the cadres of the Red League were shocked and came back to their senses. Between heads up, only then did he finally know that the shadow that fell suddenly was not the sky or cumulonimbus. It is a large island big enough to cover the entire banquet island. That is true. It's really an island. Is that Sky Island? Such a big island flying in the sky. This is the first time I've seen it. Everyone at Red Hair Pirates was amazed. More surprise than horror. No, is it still time to talk about this? If that island falls, it will be really bad. An ordinary member came back to his senses and immediately yelled to remind those who had drunk too much. Then, the people who reacted with hindsight gave birth to the panic they should have had. Even if they are the terrifying Four Emperors team. It is also impossible to remain indifferent to this natural disaster-like picture. After all, if the huge island really falls, the cadres may be fine. Ordinary members will definitely suffer heavy losses. Boss, Captain Shanks. Ordinary Red Pirates looked at Captain Shanks in panic. Advertisement. Ahahaha. The Redhead Shanks just laughed like always. Beckman, Usopp, Raziru and other cadres looked as calm as ever. Don't worry, it won't fall. Shanks grins confidently. Everyone is puzzled. Ha ha ha. In this world, there is only that man who can make islands float and fly. The legendary flying pirate, Golden Lion Shiki. Little ones, you can get ready. Our ship's mate and distinguished guests are coming. A group of senior cadres shouted loudly one after another. Alas, the red band of pirates who knew the truth yelled several times more than before. Gia ha 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 ha. Unruly laughter echoed in the sky. Attracted the attention of pirates on the island. The shadow that hangs over the island recedes. The first thing to appear under the setting sun is a golden arc with golden light. It was followed by a huge lion-headed ship. Is that a golden ship? Look, the bow of that golden ship. It's Vice Captain Chi Yu. Deputy Chi is back, and that ship behind, that flag. It's really the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. The shocking shouts of everyone in the red group echoed in the sky, and lasted for a long time. The Golden Ark Proverbs and the Flying Lion pirate ship landed one after another. Ahahaha, welcome back, Chi Yu. It's really hard work this time. Redhead Shanks stepped forward first. He opened his right arm and gave Chi Yu a big hug. Hee, it's okay. Chi Yu smiled. Open black lens bracket for the sake of my hard work, you can lend me your griffin for a while longer. Close black lens bracket. Redhead Shanks, watching Chi Yu hand back the griffin to himself. Redhead Shanks declined tearfully, said to lend Chi Yu to play for a while. This time it was Chi Yu's turn to be dumbfounded. Shanks, this B***********D has a convulsion in his head today. Open black lens bracket or he found a new wife and plans to get rid of the old one. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Yeah, what a guy who loves the new and hates the old. Close black lens bracket. Redhead Shanks blushed, emotions gradually agitated. Chi Yu still looked puzzled. I thought what the hell you want to say, but say it. The red-haired Shanks was heartbroken. However, he could only helplessly stare at Chi Yu. The other people who watched were also puzzled. I don't know what happened to the captain and the deputy captain all of a sudden. Advertisement. Ask for flowers. Is it possible to see right? Fortunately, the stalemate didn't last long. Gia ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shiki volleyed with a big laugh. Yo, Roger's red-haired trainee kid, remember me? Golden Lion crossed his arms and looked down at the red-haired Shanks. Of course I won't forget. Mr. Shiki. Shanks looked up, a brilliant curve on his face. Gee ha ha ha, after all, the old man has pushed your Roger pirates into desperation several times back then. Golden Lion Shiki's complacent opening. Shanks nodded without denying it. It's just, Mr. Shiki, the world is really unpredictable. If Captain Roger knows that you have joined the Red Hair Pirates, what expression will he have? 0. Redhead Shanks laughed. Just one sentence wiped out the smile on Golden Lion Shiki's face. With a constipated expression as if he had eaten 100 dead flies. I wanted to refute it, but for a while I didn't know what to say. Ha ha. Just kidding. Never mind, Mr. Shiki. I have prepared a grand reception banquet for you. Shanks was relieved. Golden Lion snorted dissatisfied. Stop provoking, and stand behind Chi Yu honestly. It's real. It's really Golden Lion Shiki. The legendary flying pirate. As expected of our deputy Chi. 9 snakes. It's the 9 snake pirates. That ridiculously beautiful woman seems to be the pirate Empress Boa Hancock. Everyone in the red group who recovered from the shock was excited and talking. Since then, our red hair pirates have 3 Sea Emperor level powerhouses. ... Someone has appeared again. Could it be that he has the ability of Logia Thunder Fruit? The stern senior cadre Lao Jin cried out. That man is not simple. I seem to have seen lightning flashes before. Simply invincible. The audience was in an uproar again in an instant. It's more than that. Someone shouted and caught the man who passed away in a flash and finally stood obediently behind Chi Yu. Hey, look, there is someone on the golden ship. Ah, I'm going to be petrified. Wow, how beautiful that is. It's like an angel, a fairy. Beauty. A large group of beauties are coming towards us. Advertisement Chapter 105 Red Hair Pirates incarnate as dog-licking pirates. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. 4 Emperors Red Hair Pirates. One of the 4 Emperors of the sea who ruled the New World. Gudong, it really lives up to its reputation. Just standing there, the pressure is already overwhelming. The girls of the 9 Snake Pirates talked a lot. In front of the Sea Emperor of New World. Even the tough girls of the Fighting Nation are unavoidably nervous about it. Hey, you guys, don't lose face to 9 snakes and my sister. Marigold gave a beckoning look, a commanding reminder. Yes. The 9 snakes immediately took a deep breath, subdued the shock on their faces, and followed the Empress Boa Hancock step by step. The momentum is also extraordinary. After 9 snakes. Original CP9 such as Khalifa and Kaku also landed one after another. There was unconcealable shock and tension on every face. As the original CP9 Superman with too much power. They used to be very confident in their own strength. However, after experiencing the big defeat of the Ennie's Lobby incident. Afterwards, he was hunted down one after another on Paradise Island in February 77, witnessed Chi Yu's attack, and came into contact with the legendary great pirate Golden Lion Shiki. Their self-confidence as superhumans was gone. I deeply realized my own weakness. In front of the strong men standing at the top of the sea. These so-called supermen are as weak as 3-year-old children. Now, another strong man standing at the top of the pyramid appeared in front of them. That was the red-haired Shanks, one of the 4 Sea Emperors who ruled the New World. And the monsters from the Red Hair Pirates. Monsters are monsters. Even if there is no deliberate release of momentum. Just standing there so easily and casually put a lot of pressure on them. Known by Khalifa et al. There are hundreds of powerful CP9 supermen who can easily defeat them on the field. Even Rob Lucci, whose strength is comparable to the Marine Elite Vice Admiral. On this occasion, the comprehensive strength is afraid that it will be ranked outside the dozens. This is the strength of the world's strongest pirate group known as the Iron Wall. In fact, it wasn't just 9 snakes, Lucci and others who were shocked and sighed. This moment, even the red-haired Shanks, Beckman, Usopp and other high-ranking officials in the Red Group who are as stable as old dogs. There are also waves of turmoil in the heart unconsciously. Even no matter who it is, seeing the luxurious lineup gathered on this island at this moment. It will be shocking to the point where it cannot be added. This is simply equivalent to a big gathering of 3 Sea Emperor-level pirates. 4 Emperors. Red-haired Shanks is the Emperor, Beckman is the deputy of the Emperor, plus the original members of the Red Group such as Raziru or the Emperor. The legendary pirate Golden Lion Shiki of the last era certainly deserves the title of Emperor of the Sea. Enel, who has the ability of Thunder Fruit, is even close to the Emperor-level powerhouse in terms of destructive power. It's just that other aspects are too short, but it's more than enough to be the deputy of the Emperor. Advertisement. Others include everyone from the original CP9. Rob Lucci, who possesses elite Vice Admiral combat power, is enough to rival General Star in 3 disasters. And if it continues to grow, after acquiring the weapon color, it can even write about arm wrestling. Although other Kaku, Khalifa and others are weaker. But after some practice, it is more than enough to be a cadre. This is another royal group. The last is Chi Yu, the uncrowned emperor, and the 9 snake pirates. There is no doubt about the strength of the pirate queen Boa Hancock. The other 9 snake fighters are all masters of armed weapons. Plus Chi Yu, who is enough to compete for the strongest in the world. It can be regarded as another royal group. Such a huge force. It is enough to easily defeat any pirate force on the sea. Even the Whitebeard pirates with Whitebeard sitting in the town. If there is a direct conflict with it, there will only be an end in which the entire army is wiped out. Our ship's mate really brought another big surprise. Redhead Shanks grinned in wonder. As long as Chi Yu can control Golden Lion and the others, there won't be any major problems. Beckman exhaled a smoke ring. Ahahaha, makes sense. So little ones, let the banquet begin. Redhead Shanks raised his arms and shouted. Announce the opening of the grand welcome banquet. Oh. Shocking cheers resounded across the island. Miss of 9 Snakes, the food and wine are ready, please come here. You're welcome, girls of 9 Snakes, just talk to us if you need anything. Yes, just say what you want. The pirates of the Red Group greeted warmly. Such enthusiasm made the tough girls of 9 Snakes a little at a loss for a while. After all, in their imagination, the King of the Sea Emperor group in the New World should be even more cold, hockey. The hockey scene where the red-haired Shanks lined up with the cadres was very in line with their expectations. But wait until the party starts. The heavy atmosphere that originally enveloped the island was swept away in an instant. The atmosphere in the venue was so joyous. What the 9 Snakes don't know is, after so many years of banqueting, never before has there been such joy as today. The reason for this is of course not because of the powerful combat power of Golden Lion joining. All because of the Kuja pirates brought by Chi Yu. Well known. 4 Emperor's red hair pirates is almost a monk pirates. Not interested in women, but everyone is a hot-blooded boy from the sea. How could it be possible that all of them are with Shank, all of them are not interested in women? It's not lack of interest, just lack of opportunity. Advertisement. Under the restraint of Captain Redhead Shanks. Red Hair Pirates has always been abiding by the law and maintaining law and order at sea. It is very different from the typical pirate group that burns, kills and loots. Other pirate groups can plunder treasures and rob women by force. The Red Hair Pirates were never like that. At most, when you settle on an island, have a short love. Of course, it is not ruled out that there are girls who win the hearts of girls by saving the beauty through heroes. But that kind of opportunity is very rare. It can't happen to everyone. Even if they encounter it, most of them will not choose to accept it. Because they are pirates wandering around and don't want to leave any worries. Over time, Red Hair Pirates has become the monk pirates in the eyes of ordinary people. The joy of weekdays is not only a banquet but also a banquet. Although the banquet with all the big men was equally joyful, as time went on, it always felt that something was missing. Now, when Chi Yu came with the 9 snake pirates, people finally knew what was missing. Many quick-minded people have even started to make small calculations. Ordinary good women, they don't want to delay. But if it is a like-minded pirate partner, then it is another matter. If 9 snakes really join their team, then everyone will be partners on the same boat from now on. It is reasonable to look for each other to find someone or something. Besides, it's 9 snakes. The women of the legendary daughter country. Pirate Queen Boa Hancock, they dare not think. But 2.3 is ordinary cadres and members, so flirting is natural. Also, start early, although there are quite a few girls in the 9 snakes. But the field is still a situation where there are more wolves and less meat. Ever since, it was supposed to be a celebratory banquet with wine. At this moment, it has turned into a dog-licking, blind date meeting where people ask each other about their health. Those idiots. Looking at the unsatisfactory subordinates, the red-haired Shanks couldn't help but cover his face. Ha 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 ha, what does it matter? Chi Yu laughed. Open black lens bracket. You are a single dog, you can't let everyone accompany you to play bachelor together. Close black lens bracket. Red hair. Who is single? I'm not. I also have people I like. What's wrong? While squinting at Shanks, Chi Yu hugged the slender waist of Empress Hancock. Said that he already has a partner. Don't hit my attention. No. Nothing. Redhead Shanks has black lines all over his forehead. Advertisement.